Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack, and we stacking chips. All of it's what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, May 3rd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. The furnace is being fixed as we speak. It's made this morning more complicated than I wanted it to be, so there may be some loud noise happening at times, and I will try to mute that as much as possible. Coming off of a losing day, which was very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. 3-5 with 2 pushes in MLB. 0-2. Lost the Knicks first quarter. I got 2.5. I know 2s were available at the end of the show, but when I bet it right after the show, I got 2.5 first quarter. That was a loss. -4 first half was a loss, and Hart was having some foul line shooting issues, which cost a push in the full game. Disappointing. And then in NHL, I can't wait to discuss it all here in NHL in a second. Seattle, and I seem to do this every year, and hopefully it's early enough that we can take advantage of moving forward. But these teams that are through 7 games, who are playing every second night, are just ready to go. So Seattle lost the face-off battle 39-28, but they did dominate in every other facet of the game except for little Joe Pavelski. I don't see that happening again. I'm going to bet the Stars every single game in the series, as I told you. I've already bet the Stars in game 2 on the -1 I've already bet the Stars team total over 3. The Kraken out hit the Stars. They outshot the Stars, and 2 face-offs that the Kraken won led directly to goals. I truly, and we'll talk about more in a second when we talk, because a couple other things is that my daughter has a dental work that needs to be done, and I need to be there for her tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be betting with Bouquet. Our guests will be Dabby Cab for MLB, Mr. Gokster for NHL, and Brizzy for NBA. That will be tomorrow. And Friday, it's horses. So there won't be another betting with the bag or until Low Shack in the Bag next Tuesday. For me, starting, as soon as this show's over, and I've been working on it, for a while, will be all horses. It's a huge weekend for us with the Kentucky Derby. Kentucky Oaks on Friday. Both Friday and Saturday shows start at 10:15 in the morning right here, hosted by Razor Sharp Picks and myself. All right, so the winning streak comes to an end. Can't let this languish. Have to turn it around immediately. I've made 4 bets in NHL. Only 1 is today. 3 is tomorrow. Although I could add 2 bets I want to talk about with you guys in NHL today. Shout out to Rico, Mr. T2G Picks in the house. Great to see you, man. Justin McElvey ready to get to work. Stacks play today was a casher yesterday. Fap win. Our guy Fap Win, we've missed you, man. He's unleashing a load. I don't know if you guys know Fap Win, but he's in Australia. He has a vat of lube, does horrible things to his bookie. He's a 2-game money line parlay, New York Mets game 2 and Baltimore. So that together is a plus 131. Fap Win, just seeing you here and thinking about your vat of lube is the first better feeling I've had. I almost laughed. I almost smiled. I've been pretty angry today. Troy Torrance in the house. Jay Smooth, D. Jenkins, Justin McAfee says, loving MLB right now. Serious business. The nuke worker, Rick J, coming off a 3-0 day. Justin McAfee saying, I wish MLB was 12 months a year. Look, Justin, soon it's going to be our only focus. So if you're feeling good, seeing the board clearly, enjoying life, it's going to keep getting better and better. Mike M, Viper MB. Stacks play today is in. Padres team total over 5.5 plus 105. That was a double up bad loss. Feltner's pitching well. The overs in that game were very disappointing. Very disappointing. All right, I'm throwing that in here for you. Justin McElvey, Stacks play of the day. Team total over 5.5 at plus 105. Rick J. Wow, 6-player prop parlay. Wiggins missed by point. I like the way Wiggins played last night, even though the Lakers AD's a real problem, real thorn. Matty Ice in the house, Real Deal Prime, Verl Video, ready to get to work. Creek Man, nice to see you, Creek Man. Rem Most, Diehard MMA, Clint, our guy, says, how about Yanni Gord? Look, guy's a cup champ. There's 7 of them on the Kraken, but we'll go over, because I'm going to talk about the Thursday games here on this show before Big Ragoo joins us for MLB. Big Ragoo went 7-7 on his first show with us 2 weeks ago. He'll be here every second Wednesday. His average line was plus 110 on those 14 bets, so he is plus 0.35 units with an ROI of plus 2.50%. Rocco Rogers ready to go. Mason Miller over 5.5 Ks was a thing of beauty. Was a thing of absolute beauty. Canadian Capper, great to see you. Cashman 19, Panthers plus 158, Bulls and Stars last night. Still can't believe that first period. That first period was wild. Rodney Barton, Slatsy, Yvonne Polo, Dan Kelly. Yeah, I know. It's a bad timing for the furnace break. It was 2 Celsius when we woke up this morning. Cold. It's cold. It's fucking cold. It's all good. Ready to rock. Jeffrey Blue, ready to get to work. Jay's final take. Fat Wally. I hope you guys have been tailing Fat Wally's NASCAR action. He puts it in the chat every week, and he's been cashing and cashing. Shout out to our guy Fat Wally. Bleds W. Rem Most. If you want to jump into the horse chat and talk hockey, I think I'm gonna let baseball go, but I will be betting playoffs, NHL, and NBA as we go through. Clint, there will not be a horse preview coming out. There will not be a horse preview. The work associated with that is just too much. I can't do this show and do that, and then I'd have to take a producer with me to do all the graphics. It's we let that go. Christopher Comentini, AOD, Jojo Rich in the house, Jimmy Gomez in the house. Diehard Invicta FC tonight. DeCourcy minus 140, Parla Dalboni and Adrian at minus 142, and Ben plus 155. Thank you for sharing that with us. I will copy and paste that. I really enjoyed betting your best bet of 2023. Dixon Snyder, Red Girl, Control Your Vessel, our guy Ronnie and Bergia, Nuke Worker. All right, so it's great to see all of you guys. Von Pol cash with Kraken Moneyline and the +1. Excellent work. The same strategy that you guys all succeeded with the Kraken, I will be using tonight. Let's get to work right now. RVD 420 in the house. Thank you guys so much for joining us. AOD Looney 23 rebounds, but the L. Yeah, Haydi was a monster. But let's get to work in NHL. So a losing night last night. I'm very, very adamant about the Dallas Stars. We will talk about that. We'll talk about the Stars, but let's get to work. That was my only look. Says, who do you think you'd do on Live Family Feud? Dix Insider. Jeez. Who I would grab my mom, my sister, and Ella. We'd go to work. New Jersey Devils, 52-22-8, 28-9-4 on the road at Carolina Hurricanes, 52-21-9, 28-10-3 at home. We're at PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. There's Vitalis in the house. No, it's not Big D energy. It's just emotion. I'm sorry to break your heart. Julian Cesario in the house. Billy Friedrich says he'll be at game 1 right up the road from me now. Okay, let's get back to work here. Akira Schmidt going up against Freddie Anderson. Can you hear the work being done below me? Can I just keep rolling, or if you guys hear it? Jose, let's see. He's written in the private chat. Can't hear it. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's keep rolling here. Akira Schmidt has been nothing short of a spectacular playoffs. 4-1, 1.38 goals against average, 9.51 save percentage, 2 shutouts. He was really good in the regular season. 9-5-2, 2.13 ERA, goals against average, 9.22 save percentage. He's been very good. Very, very, very good. And we see this at times. A goalie not expected to take the reins, getting hot and going all the way through the playoffs, and that could be happening right here. Let's go to the line history for this spot. Now, I bet this already. I bet it at Bet Online. It was giving me a better number than I was being offered at Bet 365. So this is liquid cash and not local credit cash here. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Pinnacle opened up Carolina -117 and now -113. The plus 106 that I got the New Jersey Devils at is now at plus 102. The move happened at 8:31 this morning. Take a look at the total here, and this is what I really want to talk about. This total opened up at 5.5, -126 to the under. Now it's -131 to the under. We remember the Hurricanes' first game against the Islanders. It was 2-1, very low scoring. First period under cashed, full game under cashed. The Devils game was different. It was different. They played the Rangers. They didn't seem very locked in, and they lost 5-1 in that first game. And it's 5-1 in that second game. Freddie Anderson. So there's a couple things that I just don't feel like paying the juice. That first period under 1.5 is at -130 for me. And I am not sure about two different things. One, the Lindy Ruff is very happy that there's no time off. He says, quote unquote, I can tell you from my experience that I would rather just keep this thing going, keep the schedule, keep it every other day than having 4 or 5 days off. And you're trying to simulate games, maybe that your opponent may look like. We've got our game at a high pace. I agree with that. Red Girl saying under. My concern with paying the juice in the under, and I certainly wouldn't bet the over, but my concern is that you need high intensity, extremely high intensity to cash unders, and I wouldn't bet the 5.5. I would bet it at 5 at plus money. And in game one of a series, I'm not certain that we'll see that high intensity. Freddie Anderson came in for one game and he looked excellent. Can he replicate that? I don't know. The penalty killing from the Carolina Hurricanes was spectacular in that first round, 94.4%. Is that because the Hurricanes are spectacular penalty killing unit? You can say yes. They had the second best penalty killing unit during the regular season at 84.4%. But 94.4% is because the Islanders' power play is bad. Dobson's not ready to be the quarterback. Horvat is not an offensive player. I mean, he was put in between the most offensive forwards in the league, and that's why he was scoring at the pace he was for the Canucks. He'll be a 50-point scorer for the next 8 years while the Islanders pay him $8.5 million per. So when I was looking at the Canes penalty killing, thinking about how the Hurricanes are going to play, I started leaning towards the under. I mean, I get it, but I can't have faith. Even talking it out now, I'm not going to bet the unders. I thought maybe if I talk it out, I'll move to the unders. But I can't have faith in Freddie Anderson, and I can't have faith in the intensity and that's needed for an under 5. If anybody wants to bet the under 5, maybe you should bet it blindly and the first period under in every Hurricanes game there is. I certainly want to be on it in game 2, but I don't want to be on it here. Julian Cesario says, LA fam, who can make it to Dodger Stadium 1 p.m. free tickets? Our guy, Julian Cesario. Billy Friedrich says Ranta will be the starter. Even if the issue with Ranta and Frederik Andersen not knowing who's going to be there is another concern for me. Control Your Vessel says, after last night's results with both teams winning with limited rest, Devils are the trend here. And I agree. So the Hurricanes closed out the New York Islanders on Friday night. So now it's Wednesday night, and we're going to expect the defensive intensity that is needed, that is required to win in game 1. So, and also keep in mind that it's either the Hurricanes or whoever wins this series has home ice advantage for the rest of the playoffs, including the Cup. So the Devils killed off every power play that the mighty Rangers had except for one over the final 5 games. TJ, nice to see you. So, also, the Devils beat the Rangers in 7 games, and Timo Meier didn't score a point. I just think I need enormous intensity to take an under 5, and I want to bet them in this series. And I want to bet the first period under 1.5, but I want there to be some emotion created. So all that being said, I'm on the New Jersey Devils plus 106. And that's my bet here. I'm not going to add the others, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the others. Jimmy Gomez thinking about those tickets. I love it. There's Jacqueline in the house. I love it, Julian Cesario. I love you guys. I love getting a ticket for a low bag here. All right, so there I. So I'm Devils at plus 106. That starts my NHL card. Luke McCann looking at Dawson Mercer over 1.5 shots on goal. Let's move on to 9:30 p.m. Eastern. West round 2, game 1. Edmonton Oilers 50-23-9, 27-11-3 in the regular season. They're a very good road team. At the Vegas Golden Knights 51-22-9, 25-15-1 at home. T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. You have probably seen a clip of Mark Stone leaving practice yesterday. They've been very hush-hush, but clearly he was in pain. That is extremely important to figure out for anybody who wants overs or wants to back the Golden Knights. Mark Stone was spectacular in that first round series. After that first game where he was a -3 and looked bad, he hadn't played in 2 months. Oh God, sorry. I'm gonna have to try and keep my calm here and stay calm and not lose my shit over the sounds that are being made from the furnace being put in. Try to stay calm. Stay calm. We have Stuart Skinner going up against Laurent Brossoit. And I don't trust either of them. Does Laurent Brossoit, who looked very good in the regular season and looked good in the playoffs, going to have confidence against this Oilers team that he was a backup for in 2014 to 2018 that didn't want him, don't want him now? Is that? Okay, thank you, Dan. Thank you, guys. Is that going to happen here? That, we have the single best power play unit we've ever seen before. In a regular season, 32.4% from the Oilers. And then they went for 56.3%. I mean, that's just crazy in the first round. Against a Kings team that has centers that should have slowed down McDavid. I mean, it's just Vegas's penalty kill in round 1 against Winnipeg, who have some nice pieces until Morrissey went down with injury, was 58.3%. And now they face the Oilers. The problem is it's game 1. And are the Oilers going to be playing with the emotion that they've been playing? Because they only played 2 games last week, Tuesday and Saturday. Are they going to be locked in? Vegas has a legit healthy fear of the Oilers. And if they find out that Mark Stone's not playing, Vegas is going to be uncomfortable. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. I'll try and stay focused here. Mike M says, love the over here. Scores, and more scores. If you listen to the comments from Vegas, they studied the LA series heavy. And their biggest point that they all spoke about was that the Kings gave the Oilers too much time in the Oilers offensive zone or the Kings defensive zone, and that they were not going to do that. They're going to close out immediately, even if that means that someone can push the puck deep and put them in an outnumbered situation. They don't care. I want to see game 1. Yes, I agree that the over should be the spot here, but if you play the Oilers in a wide open hockey game, you're going to lose. You can't do it. I don't see them wanting to get into that kind of game. I understand that the over should be the spot. 6.5 -120. Look, I get that the Devils Hurricanes should go under. That's why it's heavily juiced to the under 5.5, and that the Oilers Golden Knights should go over. That's why it's juiced to the over. But it's game 1. And I would prefer taking the over 6.5, not understanding what the defensive intensity is going to be in Edmonton, Vegas. But I know Vegas has to play a certain way or they're going to lose. And they know they're going to lose. So what do I want the most? I want the New Jersey Devils money line. I want the Toronto Maple Leafs on the -1 line. I love that we didn't move on it in game 1. Maybe they lose game 2 as well, but that -1 line is cheap enough. And I want the Dallas Stars on the -1 line and the Dallas Stars team total over 3. One of the things you can take advantage of in NHL betting is when you really like a team and that game's total is 5.5, even if it's juiced to the over. That's enormously helpful to be able to get a cheap 3. Enormously helpful. So those are the spots that I want the most. Slatsy says Oilers Vegas 4-0 to the over, last 4 in Vegas. Do we really want to trust the regular season trend in the playoffs? I don't know. That's up to you and your guys' call. But the more I talk about this, the with a bigger understanding of what Vegas knows they're going to have to do in this game, makes me interested in the first period under 1.5. It also makes me interested in the Oilers under a half goal. What would that be? Let's go over to the first 10 here. Can you give me Oilers? Maybe I should look into that. Or even first 10 minutes team to score. I mean, that's not going to work. You'd have to use the first period. Huh. Or first 10 minutes, no goal. They can't. If the Knights allow one odd man rush in the first 10 minutes, whoever created the situation, I would bench in front of everybody, because we're going to lose the series if you play like that. I guess I'm going to need a little bit more time to find the spot that would be most appealing to me. And I guess the more we talk about it, I guess it's the first period under. Jesus Christ. You guys heard that, I'm sure. Under 1.5. It's going to be okay because Ragoo's going to be on here in a second, and then, I'll be able to mute that shit. But I'm starting to lean towards that first period. First period, 1.5. So I'll have to think about this a little more. In fact, Lucas Ryan, I think they win the next 4 games. In fact, spreadsheet play of the day is in Atlanta -1. Let me copy and paste that. Copy and paste that right here. Okay, copy and paste that shit. Okay, I'm copy and pasting it. Thank you, Ron, for sharing that with us. I've got Ron's record. We'll talk all about that. So let me get that in here. Atlanta -1 at -115. So, we talk about our favorite pitchers, and it changes from year to year, but Braxton Garrett is now one of my top 5 favorite pitchers in the league, and I think he's excellent. I think he's very good. But that doesn't mean you're going to not cash that Atlanta -1. Okay, so and Christopher Comentini says reports say Embiid will play. Wow, I did not expect him to be here in the lineup. Deshaun G says home run today. So we're going to start baseball here in 3 minutes. I think the Maple Leafs answer back. I don't know if they win this series, because now all of a sudden Bobrovsky has confidence, and it's shocking to see him with confidence, and maybe he can turn back the clock. If you go right now to win the series for the Leafs, it's a pick 'em. Does that make the Leafs appealing? The Panthers are hot and they're rolling right now. Do you want to get in the way of them? Do you trust this Leafs team? Those are questions that you'd have to answer. And then the Stars are -115 to win the series, which is wild to me. Bleds W says any player props. I do not. I keep things very simple. Bleds, I stay away from player props, although we've seen some be very profitable. But I keep it simple. We have a gift spot from TJ. Mets Detroit first game under 5 at -115. Let's copy and place that here for our first game of MLB. So I have 3 looks on tomorrow's card. I will be betting on Friday's card, even though we'll be doing horses Saturday and Sunday and all that. Jay's final take said he paid the juice. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. I took the -1. We will, we're on the same page. So I have 3 bets already locked in for tomorrow. Stars -1, Stars team total over 3, Leafs -1. Tonight I'm on the Devils, and I've started to have some interest in that first period under 1.5. The problem is I'll need the Oilers to show some defensive intensity. And maybe being on the road in front of that huge crowd will be enough to do that. We'll have to see. Okay, there you guys go. That is our NHL card. We move on to MLB. Very disappointing night. I was, a little over a half unit in the red on the season and had a chance to get into the black last night, and I did not do that. Very, very, very disappointing. Taint play today is in as well. Atlanta, Miami, first 5 under 4.5. Kyle Wright and Braxton Garrett looked so good in their last start. Nate Dogg says there will be offensive intensity. Yeah, I mean, sure. It's the number 1 power play we've ever seen in the history of hockey. So I imagine on the road in front of a sold-out Vegas crowd that they'll want to score. I really want to see the type of hockey Vegas plays in Game 1. And if Mark Stone is out, and there's a big market move towards the Oilers, I might have interest in Vegas. I got to sit with it a little longer. All right. That is NHL. Let's move on to MLB. Big Ragoo going to be joining us here in a second. 7-7 in his first week with us. He'll be here every second Wednesday. Plus 0.35 units, ROI plus 2.50%, and average line of plus 110. Ron Crawford came away with a winner yesterday with the Orioles -1 at -127. It was funny, those two very, very, very public plays, the Twins and the Orioles. The Orioles were down and came back. They cashed everybody's first 5 -0.5 and full game -1. The Twins did not cash their full game. They lost to the White Sox. And we'll keep an eye on those very public plays because they jump out the card to everybody. Yes, Mike M, write it down. Pete was another winner yesterday with the Naylor RBI plus 185. Very, very nice start with the write it down, Peter, plays of the day. So Ron Crawford now 8-6 on our show. 57.1% plus 2.17 units. ROI plus 15.50%. Average line -101. I'm telling you, the skill of the cappers that we work with here should guarantee us a winning season in MLB, and I expect to get that. And your next guest is one of the reasons why. He was excellent in MLB last. I mean, he's never done a season with me in any sport where he hasn't been very healthy in the black, and I'm very thankful that we get to cap with him. Please welcome from Ocala, Florida, on the Derby week. He's going to be joining us on Derby Day Saturday, so you will see him. He'll be there for the Derby itself, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, the Run for the Roses. He'll be with us there. And he's with us right now. Please welcome the legend, the Big Ragoo. What up, Doc? How are you?
What's happening, baby girls and guys? Hey, it's always a pleasure to be on the show with you, my friend. And, of course, the beautiful chat is music to my ears every time I get on here. But, hey, I got my notes this week. Last week I had to work, or 2 weeks ago I worked off the computer, which I do. But, I'm old school, man. Call me a dinosaur. Call me what you want, but call me a winner. But one thing don't call me is late for dinner. Let's go.
Let's get to work, my friend. We start with the doubleheader. We're going to start with the doubleheader, and we have been given the gift from TJ. The gift, and it is the Mets Detroit Game 1, first 5 under. Let's talk about it right now. Game 1, New York Mets 16-13, 10-7 on the road. At the Detroit Tigers 10-17, 5-7 at home. We're at Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. We will start with the We'll start with the weather here to get rolling. I will mute myself as much as possible when these noises come in from downstairs. So 46 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 12.5 miles per hour out to left center. Stays between 12.8 and 12.4 throughout the ball game. Let's take a look at the line history for this one here. Get over here. We go. Move over to MLB. Sorry, I should have had this already moved over. And let's go. Line history and cash flow for this one. Lucchesi versus Wentz. Couple of lefties on the bump here. Detroit opened up at plus 124. They're now plus 138. They got up to plus 145 before there was buyback. But we have a legit move to the Mets, who've gone from minus 134 to minus 150 at Pinnacle. 16 cents of movement towards the Mets. Total-wise, this opened up at 8.5 and has moved to 9. We have a half-run move to the over. Let's see if this all correlates with the cash flow. We have 59% of the tickets, 70% of cash on the New York Mets. Market moving towards them. From a total side of things, we have 54% of tickets, 59% of cash on the under, and yet we've seen this go up. Matty Ice also on the full game under here. Joey Lucchesi's had 2 starts and looked good in both of them. 2.19 ERA, 1.05 whip over the 12 1/3. Last start, he went 5 1/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, 2 walks, and a 9-8 win at home over the Nationals. Joey Wentz coming off a nice start, 7-4 loss at home to the Orioles, who smashed lefties. And he went 5 2/3, allowing 2 earned runs with 6 Ks and 1 walk. He's not looked very good this year, but that was a move in the right direction. The Mets don't hit lefties, 231, 715 OPS. The Tigers are ticky-tack against lefties, 250, 692 OPS. TJ says the market is moving to Detroit. And yes, I mentioned that, TJ. I said that the buyback was in play. I said that it was up to plus 145, and it is now at plus 138, and that 7-cent move back to the Tigers. Here we go. Doc, my man, Mets, Tigers, game 1 of the double dip at Comerica. Take it away.
Oh, they're playing the other game then, huh? The second game. All right, that's cool. I didn't realize they were playing the other game. All my information I had early this morning showed it was a canceled game. So much for that shit. But anyways, we'll get to that. This game here, Joey versus Joey. Lucchesi and Wentz. Wentz he's winless, 0-3 with a 6.45 ERA. But he's had some decent moments. And Lucchesi, his ERA is 2.19. He's 1-0 in decisions. Not a lot of familiarity here. Weather being, like you said, the cool temperatures, and I think with the familiarity here and the weather and the way that the Mets have been hitting lefties season long, they're batting 231. Their average bat is at 242, but on the road with a small sample size against American League teams, they're batting 214. So with all those factors coming into play, and Detroit's bats, like you said, ticky tack. So I expect a decent effort out of both of these pitchers early on, getting settled in. I love the first 5 under here. I grabbed it at 5 at minus 120. So that's an official play right from the get-go. Is the first 5 under in this game, under 5 at minus 120. I think it holds up early on here. Can't say about the bullpens later on, but the Mets, a little bit of struggles against lefties and the AL small sample size. I think it's a good live spot for an under here.
We can get you a really nice price over at Pinnacle. Like Will Hill's got minus 120, Bet Online minus 125, Pinnacle minus 106.
Yeah.
Bodog's even throwing out 4.5s, but it's heavily juiced to the over. Over. Let's get you that minus 106 here at Pinnacle. Let me just make sure that these are all fresh lines. We don't want to be giving out stale lines. So let me just double check that here. With the quality of both pens, what's keeping you off the full game?
That's a great question. Well, I was looking at pens. I know we're deep in. We're not deep. We've got 3-4 starts into the season for a lot of these guys. The pens. I've been looking at it, and not these particular 2 pens, but overall, generally speaking, there's not a lot of separation. There's a lot of injuries now, a whole heart, across the league with like Houston and and other teams. But I know the Pens have been decent, but I don't see them as, I wouldn't call them spectacular, but everybody's above 4 on the number. But I just think the weather, I think just coming out earlier, I think that presented itself better value with the 5, because I'm getting 5 runs versus the 9, so full game. So even though let's say these guys go a little bit deeper than normal, maybe they get 6 solid, something like that. I'm banking on both of these guys having a decent start, past 5-6 innings, and then after that, like you said, maybe the Pens are up to speed, but I just capped it first 5. That was my look on the game.
You got it locked in. Your first 5 under 5 at -106. Very good company here on the under.
Yeah, I know Maddie's on the full game under too. I heard you say that taint play today. Is that a taint play today?
The taint play. No, it's not the taint play of the day, but he is on it. So you got Matty Ice on it. You got TJ on it. Hunter Engelhart, Big Ragoo. You got a great group on this spot. Same with Mike M. Mike M also saying the no-run first inning at -104 is in play. Correlates with the first 5 under. But Mets smash spot, then hammer Detroit game 2. So let's move on. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. I'm going to stay off that spot, but I will be cheering you guys on. And again, I apologize for the construction on the furnace below me. Let's move on to game 2 of this spot. Met smash spot we hear from our guy, Mike M. Max Scherzer versus Michael Lorenzen. Scherzer has not been seen since the sticky hands affair. I think it was April 19th. Last start, 3 innings, 1 hit, 3 Ks, 2 walks in what turned out to be a 5-3 win at the Dodgers. That was our show day. We were on that show. We both liked Thor in that spot. And Thor pitched fine. He allowed 2 runs. There was a 2-run home run with 2 out in the 5th that cost us a nice big plus spot. And that was very frustrating. Michael Lorenzen has had 3 starts this year. 2 have been absolutely abysmal, including his last one. 2 starts ago, he had a really nice start. I bet on him to have a nice start. And then I thought I was ahead of the market with Michael Lorenzen. And I used him again in his last start, 6-2 loss at the Brewers. And he looked terrible. I was just on the first 5 under, but he messed it all up. 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 2 walks in that 6-2 loss. Mets first righties, 248, 733 OPS. Mets aren't hitting lefties or righties right now. Tigers first righties, 215, 612 OPS. Jimmy Gomez says Lorenzen from his hometown of Fullerton. Shout out, even though he's fallen off. Others, Dabra Cadabra in the house. Great to see you. And Piker rolling with us right now. And Matty Ice also says smash New York Mets run line in game 2. TJ says I have a position on Mets first 5 -1/2 in game 2. What an opportunity to bet on one of the best pitchers in the game and then send revenge spot against Major League Baseball. I trust him here big. So all this love for this game 2 spot with Maximus Scherzer. Let's take a look at the line history, what we're dealing with right now for game 2. We have the Mets opening up at -185. They got up to -214. They actually got up twice. So once to 215, then down, then again to 214. Right now they're -199, so a 14-cent move towards them. From a total perspective, this opened up at 8.5, -114 to the under. It's now -113 to the over. Take it away for us here, Ragoo. Game 2 of the double dip, Mets Tigers.
I usually on the double header games, I'm always usually involved in the first game if if things line up for me. But the second game, I usually take a little pause because depending on what happens with that first game, kind of dictates what goes on in the second game. That's just something that I've been accustomed to capping and the way I've looked at double headers for years and years and years. I understand everybody's enthusiasm about the Mets. Some of the guys in the lineup have like Marte and I think Escobar, Pham. I got to look at the second game lineup if these guys are even playing. But I know Pham is in. They got him listed. Marte, is he in or out? No, yeah, he's in too. So most of these guys are in. But anyways, they've had some success against Lorenzen, and I get it. I get it. But this particular game here, just and Scherzer, he's probably fucking mad at the world, so he wants to go out there and mow some guys down too. So I get it. I get the enthusiasm. I get the the backing behind the Mets. With all things considered. But I'm going to wait and see on this one because I'm a big proponent of, watching the first game of a doubleheader and see how, what's going on. And if there's any changes with the lineup, we know who the pitchers are going to be. I would definitely lean with the Mets here, in that spot. Maybe look at them. Maybe look at them even from, even though they're struggling with the bats a little bit, like you said, maybe a run line spot possibly. But right now, like you said, the Mets, they're right there, just barely in the middle of their hitting both sides of the plate. And they're probably hitting righties a little bit better than they are lefties right now. But I'm going to pass on this spot.
Yeah, I can understand everybody's love for the Mets here. I faded Scherzer. Obviously we lost with the Thor spot, but I've faded Scherzer in almost every start he's had in some form or another this year and been quite successful with it. I don't know if I'm not saying that I want to do it here, but I don't look. I know he's a character guy and he's angry, but he's also old. And I don't need him to be out there with a axe to grind against MLB. And now he's playing against his old team. He always enjoys that, and it's going to be cold and shitty weather. I mean, I hear what you guys are saying, and I'm sure we have all these great cappers on both the under in the game one and hammering the Mets in game two, and. I haven't been talking about the cash in this one. Let's just see what it was, if there's anything to let us know about in the game two. You have 29% of tickets, 72% of cash on the over in the market moving there. And then we have on the money line here, 93. Oh, that's 70% of the tickets on the Mets and 61% of the cash. I think Scherzer is going to be a spectacular fade this year. And maybe that's just stuck in my head. And I got to get over it. I've written down that you guys are all on the Mets in game two, and there's great company if you like that spot. Mike M says hammer Detroit game two, not the Mets. Great price too. Sorry, Mike. I thought you were saying hammer the Mets. Billy Friedrich says Mets sweep. All right, so I'm gonna be off of this spot, but at this point, but I'd like to see what happens in game one, and if Detroit does hold their own with Wentz out there, I could find some interest there. All right, there's Markel in the house. Let's keep rolling, Rico, Mr. T2G picks. We're going back, talking about whether things correlate, whether things don't correlate. Look, everything correlating is just something that I want, and it's not necessary. We saw that the Guardians had things going in their direction. If I was to have made a bet in that game, everything was sort of screaming towards the Guardians, but it was also screaming towards the first 5 under 3.5 and the no-run first inning. So those all cashed. And nothing is black and white in sports betting, and you have complete autonomy in how you get to your final outcome or who you think will win the bet. And if you succeed, then trust exactly what you are doing. And a lot of you guys had conviction about the Kraken yesterday, and you guys were rewarded for your conviction while I was telling you the Stars were going to dominate the series, which is something I still believe in. You guys were right. So trust yourself, trust your gut, track your action, and if you're succeeding, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Let's move on. 2:05 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks 16-14, 8-8 on the road at the Rangers. 18-11, 12-5 at home at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. Brandon Pfaadt. Is that right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Let's pull up his action here. Fought. There we go. Brandon Pfaadt. Sorry about that. Brandon Pfaadt. Should have had that figured out beforehand. Out of Bellarmine University. He was picked in the 5th round of the 2020 draft. He is not the only pitcher picked in the 5th round of the 2020 draft, making his MLB debut today. Here's our first one. And Brandon was very good in Reno, both this year and the last year. Now, this year he only made 5 starts, but we know what it's like in the PCL league. It's more difficult in a month or two when it's very hot. But last year he made 10 starts when it was hot. He started in AA Amarillo. He went up to AAA Reno, and he was lights out. 5-1, 2.63 ERA, 0.99 WHIP. And this guy is really quality. His numbers weren't quite as good here, but working on things, I imagine, and hoping to get the start. I believe in him. TJ says Texas Rangers team total over 3.5 here. Rick J says watched film on him and he's super impressive. 95 mile per hour fastball and good off speed. Mally Mal says like to fade all rookies starting the first start on the road. We saw rookie on the road yesterday who looked in his first start absolutely spectacular. But again, whatever works for you, whatever keeps you getting cash, keep doing it. So we have Brandon Pfaadt making his major league debut, going up against Andrew Heaney, 2-2, 4.38 ERA, 1.22 WHIP, 24 2/3, 26 Ks, 10 walks, 4 homers. Last start, 4-2 loss at home versus the Yankees. It wasn't terrible. He has been a consecutive home starts now, and I like that for a pitcher. The Diamondbacks are ticky-tack against lefties, 263, 710 OPS. The Rangers hit righties hard, 263, 789 OPS. Both bullpens. Well, the Rangers bullpen has been good. Diamondbacks bullpen hasn't been as bad as some thought it might be. Sean Sullivan says Diamondbacks money line for him, and the Rangers spot. Joe Yerfer says, I think the roof is open. Mike M says this game screams over. They may still be playing by the time the second NBA game tips off. There will be so many runs. All right, well, let's take a look at the line history and the cash flow and then hand it over to our Big Ragoo here. Pfaadt versus Heaney. We have Texas opening up at -117. They're now -125. From a total side of things, this opened up at 8.5, -113 to the under. It's now -108 to the over. So we have a move towards Texas and a move towards the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it follows suit here. We have 35% of tickets and 81% of cash on the under. So we have big bets coming on the under, but this market is moving towards the over. Then you have 81% of tickets and 71% of the cash on the Texas Rangers, and the market is moving towards the Man Bear Pig, liking the Diamondbacks money line. Piker says he found Texas too appealing. It was the only play he made overnight. This line closer. Tia, this line closer to -160. Let's hear what the Big Ragoo has to say about this spot. Pfaadt, Heaney, Diamondbacks, Rangers at Globe Life.
Yeah, there's usually no middle ground for these first-time starter rookies. You know what I mean? They can hold their own, but a lot of cases, these good ones that come up, like we've nailed a couple last year that way, and then this year, we had that miraculous start on the West Coast. We'll talk about that later, but it goes either way with these guys. But most cases, they're going to give up a few hits here and there, a few runs here or there. And Heaney, even though he's 2-2 with a 4.38 ERA, and I think my Diamondback numbers are pretty decent these last couple of weeks against lefties. I think they're like top 5, OPS. So I like what they're doing. I wouldn't call them overachievers. You look at them and the Pirates, probably 2 of the biggest surprises of the year early on. And I think they keep that momentum going a little bit here. I think they can get to Heaney a little bit. And I couldn't agree more with the total on this spot here. It's all going to be up to Fad, I guess is how you say his last name. I think Diamondbacks will, eke out 3 or 4 runs. And I think Texas, probably get 4 or 5, maybe 6 runs. So I think this thing will eke over 9, 10 points or 10 runs here. So that's my look here. I think the best play on the board is the team total over. Just if Heaney doesn't throw a decent game and he gets touched up, I think Arizona and Texas bats are pretty good. They're scoring a lot of runs this year too. I think they're having their second and third best season scoring runs so far. But I love the total here over the total, and I lean Texas team total over too. But official play for the show is full game over.
Full game over. Again, we can get you a nice line at Pinnacle over 8.5 at -108 for Ragoo. So Ragoo over 8.5 at -108. So we have Ragoo moving on game 1 of the double dip. First 5 under 5 at -106. And Diamondbacks, Rangers over 8.5. A look that Mike M believes in very, very much. Vital says Rangers at home first 5 have produced +7 units, 44% ROI in first 5 game totals. Much love, TJ. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for hooking us up with the gift, my friend. Thank you for putting in that hard work. Wash Redskin looking for the Rangers team total price here. I'll give it to you right now.
I seen both of them were like at 4. I mean, depending on where you shop it. You know, like I think there was like -120, 130, something like that on that number.
Yeah, I've got at Pinnacle. We can look at other spots. Pinnacle's moved the Rangers to 4.5 at +118. So in the Diamondbacks over 3.5 at -129. But you would definitely need different shops to find the right thing for a team total. I don't want to sit here and guess on Brandon Pfaadt. I can understand everybody thinking that he is vulnerable and he could get touched here and stuff like that. I don't want to. I love those numbers that he has in the PCL league, but I've seen pitchers come up from the PCL league with a 5.6 ERA and be lights out. You know, so the PCL league is kind of a tricky league for me to feel comfortable with the numbers that these pitchers have. But we do know that it's it's an offensive league, and if you have nice numbers in the PCL, you're doing well. Now that isn't as much of the case early in the year when it's not that hot, but. All right, Cashman says Texas team total over 4.5 at +105 at Bet365. Wow, so that's a big difference at +118 over at Pinnacle, +105 over at Bet365. I'm going to be off of this spot. Bled W says had Rangers last night. Think their lineup is just better. Don't trust Heaney though. He would take the Rangers team total over 4. Joe Yurkovich is on Texas as well at -120. All right, and market's moving towards the over. But there's some bigger bets placed on the under. It just doesn't work enough for me. Thank you, Sean Sullivan, my man. Good luck with everything today. Thank you for taking the time off of work to hang out with us and give us your action. Gifted Cartel looking at the first 5 ties, looking at Diamondbacks first 5 +0.5. And Dabby Cab says first 5 over 4 is probably going to be something that he bets. Okay. Respect, Rico, my man. This is what we do. We work together. We're a team. We work together, so I love it. Let's move on to 2:10 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants 12-7, 5-10 on the road at the Houston Astros, 16-14, 8-10 at home. Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. I'm very interested in this game. I find these pitchers, both of these pitchers are predictable, and there's nothing that we like more than predictable pitchers. Logan Webb has allowed 4 runs in both of his road starts. He's a good pitcher, 43 Ks and 5 walks and 37 1/3 with a 1.15 whip, but he's not the same pitcher outside of Oracle. But the Astros are simply not hitting 240 with a 665 OPS versus righties. Going up against Framber Valdez, who I believe is very trustworthy. 7 innings last out, 8 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 3 Ks, no walks, and 3-1 loss at home versus the Phillies. 2.54 ERA, exact same whip as Logan Webb. 37 Ks and 8 walks, has allowed 4 home runs in 39 innings. And the Giants are starting to hit lefties. They looked absolutely atrocious against lefties, and they're starting to hit them a little bit. Overall, this year, 224 with a 632 OPS. Let's take a look at the line history for this spot. Here we go. Webb, Valdez, and I should have moved on the under when it was available to me. I wanted to talk this out. There's been a big move to the Giants. Giants open up at +157 at 5:53 p.m. yesterday. Now they're +136. A huge move to them. From a total perspective, this opened up at 7.5 plus money to the under. That 7.5 is now juice to the under. The first thing that happened with this total was that it jumped up to 8 immediately, or in 7 minutes. It was out there for 7.5 for 7 minutes and went up to 8. And that's why I was like, okay, well, I'd rather talk this out with you guys. At 9:41 a.m., this was at 7.5 -112 to the under. And at 9:56 a.m., this moved to 7, where it lasted for 34 minutes. This didn't get back to 7.5. And then it went back to 7 again at 11:16 a.m. So clearly that first move to the over is not what everybody is believing in. Robert Franklin bet the under 8 last night in the Astros money line. So you crushed the move on the under 8, lost the move on the Astros money line. Matty I says, love Valdez here, especially off an Astros home loss. Mr. T2G picks looking at the Reds. Matty I says, Astros first 5 minus half and Astros full game run line. Astros double up for Matty Ice. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it's correlating with the spread here or with the movements. We have 40% of the tickets and 85% of cash on the Giants. So big bets coming in on the Giants. Then 44% of the tickets, 64% cash on the under. And that makes me think that the Giants' paltry numbers versus righties will continue, and that Logan Webb should be able to slow them down, even though he's been much worse on the road. Let's hear what the Big Ragoo has to say about this spot. Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. Giants, Astros.
My sentiments are 100% with what you were saying. My notes tell me that, with the way Webb is pitching, I mean, this will be a good K prop, I think, but I'm not going to get involved in that today. If you look at Webb's K ratio, is pretty strong. I think Valdez is a lot better than his record indicates here, with the 2-3, 2-3 record with a 2. So, and the thing with the Houston staff right now, they've got some guys on the IL, and the bullpen, they're going to have like some call-ups there, and, and the bullpen's a little bit taxed too. So they're going to have, there's going to be a lot of shuffling around with the staff with Houston here going forward, and it's not going to get any easier for them. But I totally agree with the Webb look. The market thinks he's going to have a good game here. It's moved his direction. Anybody that has a 1-5 and is taking the action at the big plus money here, I would lean Astros, but I even like the under a lot better in the first 5 here. I think both pitchers will show up early on here, and I don't know what you could shot me out. Early on, I was looking at a 3.5 at a minus 125, one a little bit higher than I like, but I'll go up that ladder for that type of number. When I see 7s, 7.5, that puts me on the first 5 under usually. So in this particular spot with these two pitchers too, I think both of them are well worthy of that number too. So I think we see some Ks, and I think they both hold them down early on.
Yeah, Rico wanting to find out what's going on with the roof in Houston. I find Houston and Milwaukee with their, roofs that can be open or closed. I find that it's not as big of a deal. There's Noli Knows in the house giving you a shout out, Big Ragoo. There are some first 5s at 4 available. They're not available for me. I can get that first 5 under 3.5 at plus 105. But there are 4s available. Bookmaker has a 4 at minus 120.
Yeah.
Pinnacle has the 4 at minus 117.
Give me the best 4 number you got. Okay. We'll make that official.
First 5 under 4 at minus 117. I like that look. I like that look a lot. I wish I could get it myself. I might have to build it myself, unfortunately. I just want to see what it would cost if I built it over at Bet365. That first 5. Oh man, they're not giving me alternative first 5 totals. Wow, that's always wild when they pick and choose not to give you a first 5 alternate line. That always throws me for a loop. Why would they pick this game not to do that? All right. I like this look that you have. I want to be on it too. I don't hate doing it on a plus 105, but I would prefer not to. I'm going to put it here. First 5 under 3.5 at plus 105. Depending on when we finish this show, I may have to bet that before we are done. Joe Yurkovich says the Astros lineup is out, and it is a pretty good. Let's take a look at. God, I like that spot that you have here with getting the -117 on Pinnacle. I would even pay up to -120 for the opportunity for a 4. Let's take a look at the lineup that's out here for the Astros, being a very disappointing group so far offensively. Dubon, Bregman, Alvarez, Abreu, Tucker, Pena, Myers, Hensley, and Maldonado turning that lineup over. I like that. All right. Burn One, great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Got a bunch of great cappers here in the chat, and we got the legend Ragoo rolling with us. So Ragoo's on the first 5 under 4 at -117. It's under 3.5 at +100 at Bet Online, under 3.5 at +105 at Bet365. All right, let's move on. 4:10 p.m. Eastern is next up, and we have another pitcher making his debut who was picked in that 2020 draft in the 5th round, the same round as Fott was drafted in. Gavin Stone for the LA Dodgers, picked out of University of Central Arkansas. He is in the PCL League at Oklahoma City, and he hasn't looked great. 4.74 ERA, 1.26 whip. I mean, he hasn't looked bad. He's just walking too many batters. 27 Ks in 24 2/3, but 12 walks. In 2022, he went from high A with the Great Lakes to double A with Tulsa. He spent most of his time in double A, 13 starts, 14 appearances. And then he went to AAA Oklahoma City, and he was spectacular. I mean, this was a 23, now he's 24, but this was a 23-year-old kid. He had a 1.44 ERA in high A and a 1 whip in 6 starts. Goes up to double A, has a 1.60 ERA and a 1.21 whip. And then goes up to AAA and has a 1.16 ERA and a 0.94 whip. So I'm not overly concerned that he wasn't great in 6 starts here to get the season started. I think that he's very capable. Aaron Nola finally had an excellent start, and he had it at Houston. I know this is not the Astros offense that we have a vividness bias about, but he looked great finally. 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. It was a solo shot, 6 Ks, and no walks. 4.46 ERA, 1.13 whip, but it feels like he's rounding into form right now. Phillies hitting 270, 773 OPS versus righties. Dodgers 252, 828 OPS versus righties. Carlos Garcia, yes, nice job, Carlos Garcia, cashed with your reverse cowgirl play of the day yesterday. Piker says that he took a look at this kid, Gavin Stone. He's got one of the best changeups in the entire minor leagues, if not the best. He says confused what to do here. Well, let's take a look at the line history and see if that leads us into anything. And the weather at Chavez Ravine. I don't know if you can hear Carter losing it, but I have some issues today. Okay, here we go. Let's stay. I got to stay focused here, not let all these periphery issues mess with me. 63 Fahrenheit, 9.5 miles per hour out to right center. Gets up to 12.1 miles per hour. It's warm afternoon game. Not hot, but warm enough. Let's see what the line history is here for this one. Nola versus Gavin Stone. We have the Dodgers opening up -107. They're now -105. So 2 cent move to the Phillies. From a total perspective, this opened up at 8.5, and it keeps going up to 9 and back to 8.5, up to 9, back to 8.5. So right now it's at 9, but that's quite heavily juiced to the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. We have 65% of tickets, 58% of cash on the Dodgers, 58% of tickets, and 96% of cash on the over, but it's not really moving that quickly to the over. Take it away for us here, Ragoo. Phillies, Dodgers at Chavez Ravine.
Sometimes you just got to say, fuck it, right?
Yeah.
All right, so what happened with the Padres when Tatis came back? They started smashing when they made that trade last year too, and coming back on the from the suspension and everything. Well, Harper comes back today for the Phils, and the Phils have been real spotty in their lineup. They either smash or they do nothing. The Rook is going to be the big question mark, obviously. Nola, like you said, he's been very, he's turned the corner, I think. The guys that have had success against Nola are Peralta, Rojas, and Betts. 8, 9, and 1 guy, right? That bottom part of the lineup and the leadoff guy. Everybody else is no big deal. So you think, hell, there's not going to be a lot of runs scored here, possibly early on, maybe not. But I think with Harper coming back in the lineup today, that's going to kind of steady them up a little bit in offensive production. He's a wily veteran, MVP type player. It's a different team when he's in the lineup. I think today the Dodgers are going to have a rough day today with the Rook on the mound. I think it's a smash spot for the Phillies today. I think Phillies come out strong. I think we get a solid effort from Nola. I think the lineup produces runs, and I think it should be a lot higher price. I would have thought. I thought it kind of cheap on Nola, but he hasn't been the best for him. But I think he's back. He's turned the corner a little bit here. I think the Dodgers are going to get beat today, and I think they get beat by margin. I'm going to be on the Phillies on the run line.
Wow. What a great breakdown. Interesting. Phillies on the run line. You cashed with the Phillies on the run line last show you were on with us at plus 147. Phillies on the run line. We're going to go. I'm going to have to go to a reverse run line. So I'll take a look at what Bet365 and what Pinnacle are offering here. See which one is the best. There was a time when Bet365 gave the best reverse run lines. Those days are over, sadly. But let's see what we can get here on the Phillies. Wow, that's not much. Just plus 135 at Bet365. Wow, and the Dodgers are so it's a pick'em here. That's very telling. It's a pick'em, and the Dodgers are -1.5 plus 170, while the Phillies are plus 135. I mean, part of that's being the road team, you could say, but that's a pretty big difference, 40 cents. Let's see what it is over at Pinnacle for the Phillies on the run line. Here we go. The Phillies -1.5 plus 151 here. So we'll give you that number.
Yeah. I found 155 earlier, but 151 is good.
Matty Ice, yeah, I think the reason for that is that of the two pitchers, the pitcher making his major league debut is much more vulnerable than Nola off an 8-inning performance. And I think that the road team is the spot that you'd want to have on a run line because you're guaranteed 9 at-bats. So I think it's a pretty easy question to answer. Let's go back to the cash flow here for this one then. 33% of the tickets and 40% of the cash on Nola. This Phillies bullpen has been coming together.
Yeah, they got the top. I think they got the top rated bullpen right now as we speak.
They've been spectacular over the first, over the last 3 weeks or so. But I mean, they clearly with the -1.5 at plus 175 or plus 135, clearly there's a belief that the pitcher making his debut is quite a bit more vulnerable. JP says the only corner Nola is turning is the corner of Echo Park in Wilshire, where he will get eggs tossed at him.
Tell him to pick up a hot dog at Pink's while he's down there too.
That's not an Echo Park, my friend. That's there's no Pinks in Echo Park, but
somewhere in LA, right?
Oh yeah, it's a La Brea and La Brea Melrose, somewhere around there. So I think that Nola turned a corner, and the Phillies bullpen's been lights out, and this wouldn't necessarily be me fading Gavin Stone. This would be me more betting on Aaron Nola. So first off, Ragoo is on the Phillies -1.5 at plus 151. Troy, I'll tell you what I think about the market here, and we'll go right back to it. The market has moved 2 cents towards the Phillies at Pinnacle. Now, it only came out at 8:48 a.m. but it's moved 2 cents towards the Phillies. And you have 33% of the tickets and 40% of the cash on the Phillies. Why would it move any more? So I think it all makes sense. And I'm not surprised by that line at all, Brian Watson. I bet the Leafs -1. I think that's the right line. I think it's a fair line. I think it's makes sense to me. So I'm going to move on the Phillies as well.
How you attacking it?
I'm just going to take it on the money line at this point.
Yeah.
Not that I don't look. You teach us, and you went 7-7, and you were plus money last show, and so your average line of +110. It's the same thing that Hunter Engelhart does, and I respect it. I only do that, once we get to -20 range, and maybe that is a mistake here. But I think I would just take the full game money line. And I know that the Dodgers are probably a little better than their bullpen's a little better than the numbers indicate, but we know what the Phillies bullpen's been doing lately. So Joe Yerkvist says this game does not correlate. For me, it's a pass. For me, it does. You have more bets coming in on the Dodgers. 67% of the tickets on the Dodgers, and the market's slightly moving towards the Phillies, slightly where they have slightly bigger bets. So I'm going to be on the Phillies too. So Ragoo has locked in on the run line, and I am on the money line. Let's roll on. TransCanada says the bag says so. City Council proposing $2 parking fee in Vancouver Chinatown. Look, I don't miss. Chinatown's okay, but that's right at the corner of crack and meth, and I don't miss Pigeon Park. Reminds me of my old apartment. It's a dice game. It's tent city. They try to get the tents out of it. Don't get me a Maine and Hastings trance. Even the pigeons know not to go to Pigeon Park. It's fucking nasty. Let's move on. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 13-17, 4-11 on the road at the San Diego Padres 16-15, 8-9 at home. Petco Park in San Diego, California. Let's get into the weather over there at Petco. 63 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour out to right field, left to right, but slightly out. Enough out. It's out to right field, but it's not, left to right. Between 10 and 11.5 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Reds, Padres. And I'm on the board. That's my first move. It's my first move. I'm on the board. I'm happy to be on the board. Nice to be on the board. Let's talk about this Cesa versus Lugo spot here. Padres opening up at -238. They're now -265. From a total standpoint, this opened up at 9 juice to the under. It's still juice to the under, but there's been a 2-cent move back to the over. Let's go over to the bad guys. There's only one close. I mean, there's street hookers all down there, but they're horrific. But there is one. There's not the number 5 orange is right down there. Let's go to the cash flow here. We have 94% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on the Padres. Now, we had similar spots like this yesterday, but they didn't have 30 and 40 cent moves in their direction. If you're going to be on one of these spots, you want to see some fear from the books, and at least you're getting that here. 53% of the tickets, 48% of the cash on the over, so no real lesson there. Cesa's looked terrible, but he's coming off a better start. Now, it was against Oakland, and he did allow 8 hits in 5 innings, but just 3 earned runs. I mean, he's not to be trusted, obviously. 9.55 ERA, 2.22 whip, 9 strikeouts, 9 walks. I mean, he's just been bad. Seth Lugo came back to earth against the Cubs, but the Cubs hit hard. And it was at Wrigley Field. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 3 Ks, no walks. Reds are hitting just 241, 675 OPS versus righties. Padres aren't really hitting righties either. 221, 704 OPS. And the Reds bullpen has surprised us a little this year, being better than we expected. The Padres bullpen has been very mediocre. Ron Crawford said Cincy 2-10 as a road dog. Take it away for us here, Ragoo. Justin McElvey stacks play of the day is the Padres team total over 5.5 at +105. Expecting them to get to Cesa. Take it away for us here at Petco. Reds, Padres.
I agree with that look right there, getting Assessa here. I mean, opponents have been eating off of this guy. They're batting like 633 slugging percentage with a 1.07 OPS rate, and I think Lugo, he'll have a decent start here. The only people he has a real short sample size. I think one other appearance versus the Reds, where I think the only guy in the lineup was I was looking at that was it who was it here? Excuse Senzel. He's the only guy that's had any. He's 1 for 3 lifetime. Everybody else has never seen him before. So, and I think the Padres, even though they maybe not hitting righties as good as they have in the past, I think this is a smash spot for the Pods today. And this is pretty much a fate of Cesar, more or less. You know what I mean? Even though the numbers are not there in the lineup, I think this is a get right game for the Pods. I think they got enough weapons in the lineup to do damage to the staff here. Even though, like you said, Reds bullpen's a little bit better than has been, and I get that look of the 5 runs. I don't no argument here because I think the Padres will get probably about 6, maybe 7 in this spot here. So this is another game I'm going back to back with the run line. I think the Pods smash here. So I'm going to put even though they're a home team, I'm going to take them on the run line at home and get a decent number, I presume here, right? Because I think the number on what's the number minus 280. Yeah, so I'm going to still be in a negative territory with the run line here. So probably the smarter play is the 5.5 with the team total. What can we get on a team total here?
Let's see what Pinnacle is offering here. I can get you a minus 129 at Pinnacle on that run line.
On the run line, yeah.
For a team total here, I can get you it's over 5.5 at plus 102.
Yeah,
over there. I mean,
that's a stiff number, though.
That's
when
a
you think
big number for a team not hitting righties.
Yeah. I'll stick with the run. I'm pretty confident in that play there. I think they'll win by margin today. I think they touch them up. I was going to look at a first 5 possibly, but here's the thing with the Padres. I forgot to mention this too. If you go back and you look at the Padres box scores, look at the first 5s on. Go back and look at their last 10 games, and they do all their damage late. Their major damage, unless they're in like a 16-run game, then they're hitting throughout every inning. But if you go back and look at the majority of games, like when they've scored like 6, 7, 8 runs. 5 runs, that type of thing. They've always did damage later in the game. So that's why I was thinking, I didn't want to get involved in the first 5 with the Padres. But, when they score, they do damage late. So I'll take them on the run line.
You got it. Padres minus 1.5 at minus 129 for Ragoo. Rico is on the Reds first 5 at plus 220, first 5 plus a half at plus 138, and full game plus.
I don't hate that look. I really don't hate that look.
Yeah,
it's because of the Padres first 5s.
The hip to be square play of the day is in from Mike M. It is San Diego Padres Tampa Bay Rays at plus 101 and looking to go 3 in a row for the hip to be square play of the day. I'm going to stay off of this spot. I expect a regression, negative for Lugo and positive for Cesar. That's easy to say.
Is his velo down a little bit?
I you know what? I haven't studied that. I just, when Cesar was a New York Yankee, there was times where he looked good. Now he gets a chance to be a starter, and he's looked terrible to start the year. Yeah. We know that the Mets didn't want Lugo, and Lugo wanted a chance to be a starter. Both these teams were on teams that didn't really want them to be starters, so they went somewhere where they could be starters. And I think that they're much more similar. Their numbers will end up by the season end very similar, I expect. So, but in saying that, Cesar looks terrible. That was a better start at Oakland, but he did allow 8 hits. I can understand everybody's looks on this game. I can understand. And this, unlike yesterday when we had 95% of the cash on certain MLB spots, at least the markets moved 30 cents in their direction. So I get it. but I'm going to move off this. Justin McElvey on the Padres over 5, team total over 5.5. Ragoo on the Padres -1.5, -129. Hip to be square is using the Padres with the Rays. Let's move on. We have a fun one at 6:40 p.m. Eastern, and I have taken a liking to the lefty on the hill for the Miami Marlins. Braxton.
Former Jumbo Shrimp, baby.
Yeah, he was. You're right. Yeah. I've taken a liking. I really think he is quality. I think he is a quality starting pitcher. And last start, we knew that rain was in the forecast. It wasn't going to be a nice day. I expected Kyle Wright to have his first good start of the year. I was really expecting it. Remember we talked about his shoulder issues, and he's been having them since January. And it felt like he was ready to go. Thank you, Noli. Thank you. And I took the Marlins first 5 plus a half at even money. And I took the first 5 under 4.5. It was 0-0 when these two pitchers left at the end of the third inning. It was 0-0 going into the bottom of the fifth when the Braves put up 4 runs. And I was fortunate to catch the first 5 under 4.5. You guys remember that game because it was 4-0 Braves. And in the 9th inning, the Marlins went off for 5 runs and won the baseball game. So let's go. Troy Torrance says home road, dichotomy, motivation, etc. doesn't really matter much. I started winning, Troy, when I finally understood that this wasn't a team sport. That's when I started succeeding in it. But we'll talk about it. Reverse cowgirl play of the day here. Parlay, Philadelphia moneyline and Marlins moneyline. Look at that. Philadelphia moneyline and Marlins moneyline. That will be a big score for you. We also come to the intersection of Matty Ice and Ron Crawford. Now, they aren't on the same play, but Matty Ice and Ron Crawford here involved, and we will talk all about their action. Jay Peasy says he's never betting on those sorry-ass Marlins again. Says he doesn't care if Nolan Ryan in his prime is pitching. And Piker says it's a little different. He says Braves throat fuck lefties. He leans to the under. Nothing wrong with a little. Actually, let's stay focused here. Let's pull up. First off, the taint play of the day is Atlanta, Miami, first 5 under 4.5 at -125. Taint play of the day, first 5 under 4.5 at -125. And it looks like you have approval from the Big Ragoo. Again, taint is in. First 5 under 4.5 -125. Mia Khalifa seemed to be touching her throat in that image as well. We have the spreadsheet play today on the Atlanta Braves -1. Luchace Fox wants to back the throat fuckers. Atlanta -1 at -115 for Ron Crawford. And we have tracked the spreadsheet play of the day as per Ron's request. 8-6, 57.1%, plus 2.17 units, ROI plus 15.5%, average line -101. The one leg on the couch, spit down the chin, throat fuck play there. That is a lot. Then we're asking for a lot there. We're asking for a lot. But the spreadsheet play today is in. Braves -1 at -115. AOD calls it the stroke from the back. AOD calls it also the rusty trombone. I remember when Pete taught us about the rusty trombone down in Costa Rica. So these pitchers just faced each other and left after the third inning due to rain. Kyle Wright versus Braxton Garrett. Marlins don't hit righties, 233, 658 OPS. The Braves smash lefties, 283, 836 OPS. They didn't get to Braxton Garrett. Now it was only 3 innings, but he only allowed a hit. 1 solitary hit with 3 strikeouts before he was pulled. So let's take a look at the line history here in Miami. Wright and Garrett. We have The Braves opening up -134. They're now -132. No movement. Total wise, this opened up at 8, and it's at 8.5. Wow. So they're not moving towards. So it's moved up a half run on the full game. Let's see what it's done on the first 5. Opened up at 4, and now it's 4.5. Well. There's Nut Flush Allen in the house. Ron Crawford says 5 pushes on the -1. Ron, I love what you're doing. I know you've pushed a bunch of bets here, but I really like what you've been doing this year with baseball, which is no surprise to anyone who watches you, Cap. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this spot. 81% of the tickets on the Braves, but just 67% of the cash. This is screaming at me to take the Marlins first 5. Screaming at me. 32% of the tickets, but 89% of cash on the over. So some big bets come in on the over. You already have given us a hint of what you're doing, Big Ragoo. Take it away, my friend. Braves, Marlins.
Yeah, I love this. This is one of my top-rated plays. They're all top-rated plays, but I really like this play a lot. I love that first 5 under. Even though the market's kind of moved the other way a little bit, I guess you could say that. But they're both quality pitchers, like you say. With Garrett, I think he's going to be a good ball player, longer term with this team. But he's working out some of the kinks last year early on. He started real late in the season last year. I think he had a good spring. Wright is who he is. He's 0-1 right now with a 4.86, but he's better than that. So I just think the way that any team other than the Mets and the Braves, the Marlins have been pretty good at home against and have been pretty successful. Marlins like 10-1 or 10-0 in 1-run games this season too, by the way. But anyways, yeah, I think we'll get a strong outing by both pitchers. I love both these pitchers here. I think they'll be effective against the lineups early on. And like I say, even though the market's kind of moved away a little bit the other way, I'm glad it does because I don't want to be on the same side as the market does because that brings the value our way as cappers and gamblers and whatnot. But definitely, I'm not scared of that move at all. I think let's see, Garrett, even though he's 0-2 with a 2.70 ERA against these Braves, and I get that too, but still that number is very respectable. So both these pitchers in these roles against these lineups, I know the Braves, I don't like to equate any unders with Braves because, they smash both sides. But I think in this spot against this pitcher, it's a good, like you said, I think it screams Marlins first 5s too. I lean that way also. But definitely on the first 5 under 4.5 at the best number you can get me.
Let's line shop for you. Also, the first 5 Marlins plus a half is not expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be on the Marlins first 5. I'm also going to be on the Marlins first 3. I'm not going to take the plus half on the first 3. That would be really expensive. But I'm going to be on the Marlins first 3 as well. I really believe in Braxton Garrett. Other Sharpie in the house. Gavin Stone over 4.5 Ks at -130. Gavin Stone, the 5th round pick out of Central Arkansas, starting for the Dodgers for Sharpie. So, Ragoo, let's line shop for you here on the total first 5. And here we go. First 5 under 4.5. There's a -106 there. -106 is the best we can get over at Pinnacle.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, Ragoo, first 5 under 4.5 at -106. And Carlos Garcia, very confident in the Celtics over there. So, first 5 under 4.5 -106, and I'm going to be on the Marlins first 3 money line. First 5 plus a half. I don't care what the Braves do to lefties. They're not touching Braxton's throat. I'll tell you that much. Taint play today, Atlanta, Miami, first 5 under 4.5. Ragoo also on the first 5 under 4.5. Spreadsheet play today on Atlanta -1. And I'm on Marlins first 3 and first 5 plus a half. Let's move on. Let's move on. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Pirates 20-10, 11-6 on the road at the Tampa Bay Rays. 24-6, 15-2 at home. Thank God we didn't have any action on the Jays to win the division. Now, I still think they have a chance, but my goodness, would I not be comfortable at this point? On the hill for the Pittsburgh Pirates, none other than Helen Mitch Keller. Hear no evil, 3-0, 3.53 ERA, 1.21 whip, 35 2/3, 40 Ks, 12 walks, and 4 homers. Lou Chase Fox says that throats will be touched in this game. We will talk about that game. Andrew G. upset about the disrespect for Helen Mitch Keller. Helen Mitch Keller's a good pitcher. 3.53 ERA, 1.21 whip, 40 Ks, 35 2/3. Last start, win at home versus Dodgers. We were on her. 5-0, 2.1. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 10 Ks and 1 walk. Shane McClanahan, 5-0, 2.12 ERA, 1.09 whip. Very, very skilled pitcher. Last start, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 2 walks, and a 14-5 win at the White Sox. In that game, he went up against Cease, and a lot of you guys are talking about Cease here in the chat right now. Pirates are smashing lefties, 283, 818 OPS. Rays are smashing righties. No one is hitting righties harder than the Rays, 272, 862 OPS. Ragoo's Rays in action here. Let's take a look at the line history for Keller versus McClanahan. First off, the Rays opened up minus 207. They're now minus 217. Wow. From a total perspective, this opened up at 7. It moved to 7.5 at 10:09 a.m. So we have a 10-cent move to the Rays, and we have a move to the over. Let's see if the cash flow correlates with that. We have, here we go. Sorry, where's the Rays game? Here we go. We have 30% of the tickets and 82% of the cash on the Pirates. I could see anybody looking at this number thinking that's not right, but if 82% of cash was on the Pirates, why on earth is the market still moving towards the Rays? 84% of tickets on the over, but just 60% of the cash. I'd love to be on the spot with 16% of tickets and 40% cash. The problem is the market has moved it to the 7.5. Nice job, Equanimus. Nice job, Equanimus. Take it away for us here. Equanimus saying, I still took Curry under points, even though the chat didn't want me to. Again, we keep going back to that. When you have the conviction to stand up in the face of cappers you respect who are on the other side, your ROI is going to be through the roof. And when you don't have the conviction, you just let it go. Take it away for us here, Ragoo. Sharpie says, under. Good pitching beats good hitting. And McClanahan going to shove, and Keller gets in line.
Yeah. I mean, without question, this is a familiar spot for McClanahan, not against the Pirates, but if we remember early on, he had that hot start and then kind of faded a little bit in the middle. And then, we were talking Cy Young early on with him last year, and he's on that same path again. And how about Keller, man? He's fucking, very respectable, 3-0, 3.53 ERA. I mean, like, I don't argue with Sharpie on that 7 look, just this could be like a 5-2 type of game. No disrespect to the Pirates. I mean, you gotta love what the Pirates are doing. Nobody's telling them they're not supposed to be winning games. A young team out there doing their thing. Playing team baseball. There's probably not a more well-rounded team in the league in all the positions than the Rays. Hitting, pitching, fielding, the whole nine. What they're doing right here, and Pittsburgh, they're not too far behind. You got the two teams with the best record in MLB playing today, and both undefeated pitchers. So you almost feel like a little bit of you can't say disrespect, but it almost feels that way with that big number that you get with McClanahan here, versus Keller on Keller's side. So I definitely want to be on the Rays side here though, but the hard thing was attacking the numbers, basically trying to figure out how can we get to a decent number. And if Keller pitches lights out, but the Rays are spectacular at home. They really are. They put runs up. And am I going to guarantee they're going to do it here? No. And usually what I have is with the Rays, I'm looking at usually like a first 5 minus a half run. But in this spot here, I think we're looking at minus 140 for that number, and I don't want to lay the 140, even though it's McClanahan. I don't. I think if Keller pitches out a little bit, we might have a little bit of a time getting there. But then again, am I going to go run and a half full game, or looking at 7 innings? No value there. Still got a small plus number. I think it's even money. If you go full game on the run line, it's plus 105 is what I found earlier. So as much as I hate to do it, and every time I seem to get involved with my team, they wind up bending me over some which way or another. Like when I get involved with the Yanks some way. But the Rays have always been pretty decent to me overall. But sometimes those first 5s get a little dicey for me with them. So I'm going to do something different today. I'm going to take the Rays at home on the money line, on the run line here. And that's 3 run line bets today, 2 home teams and a road team. I got the Phillies and Padres, and I might as well complete the trifecta with the Rays. So give me the Rays on the run line at the plus money. I'll try to squeeze out a couple extra hits out of Rezzarino or Wander today. See if they can give me a couple extra yard balls.
Interesting, and I get the look, and I love the breakdown. And Sharpie's saying, what about the Rays to score first? That's actually minus 135. Minus 135. Let's line shop for that run line for you.
You notice I've been staying away from the prop bets today, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I know that it was a sweat for you 2 weeks ago, because I want to. I don't. Obviously, we track everybody's action for the transparency and accountability that you don't get on other channels, but it's also fun. I enjoy it because I cheer for you guys, so it's nice to see you guys cash. By the way, our very own Dan Kelly says that he liked the Rays when they were the Devil Rays, but he doesn't like them as just the Rays. And then in capitals, he says he's not a devil worshiper, and he says he finds that stuff ridiculous and disgusting. But anybody who tells you in capitals that they're not a devil worshiper.
So, we're all born devils, though, man.
All right, let's get you the run line here. Run line full game. All right. We have the full game run line for you, minus 1.5 at plus money. Plus 102 at Pinnacle. Plus 102 is the best line we can give you.
That'll work.
All right, Ragoo is in. Rays, minus 1.5.
See, I have to stay in my lane with the with what I do, with the money lines and all that shit, the average price. So I got to figure a way to get there, and that's how you get there.
I like it.
Do you win all the time? No, but like you said, over the long haul.
Vitalis is at home. The Rays' first 5 are ranked first.
They got to be. They fucking. 20 something and 6, and all the runs they've scored. They got to be first at something.
They're a hell of a baseball team. And I love you, Dan Kelly. All right, let's move on. 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Cubs at Washington Nationals. I cashed this under comfortably yesterday. Happy that I moved on it. Pete was on it. Took me a little while to get there. I wanted to give it a second look after the show, and then I felt like it correlated enough to move on it. Marcus Stroman going up against Jake Irvin. We have a third pitcher making his major league debut. 4th round pick in the 2018 draft out of the University of Oklahoma. Let's discuss Jake Irvin. This year he's been in the home of Mike M, Dirty Chester, and he hasn't looked good. He has not looked good. This was his first foray into AAA as a 26-year-old. Not a young cat to be in, finally getting into AAA. 5.64 ERA, 1.52 whip, 20 strikeouts and 11 walks, and 22 and a third. Of the pitchers who are, making their MLB debuts, and they're always tricky, I find Jake Irvin the most vulnerable. Marcus Stroman, 2-2, 2.29 ERA, 1.05 whip, 33 Ks, 13 walks, and 3 homers. Last start, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 3 Ks, 2 walks, and a 3-2 loss at the Marlins. Stroman has been very good this year. The Cubs hit righties hard, 267, 767 OPS, and the Nats don't hit them at all, 234, 626 OPS. Both bullpens have been good. Let's take a look at the weather first for Jake Irvin's MLB debut. Let's hear Rick J. I love that he's taking a look at all these pictures, looking at game film of them. Says, was not impressed with Irvin watching game film. Okay, let's move on the weather. 63 Fahrenheit, 10 miles per hour out to... Oh, no, shit, that's the wrong one. Excuse me. Sorry, my bad. Let's get over to the Nats spot. We have 50 Fahrenheit, 11.4 miles per hour, a left to right. Very slightly out, and then it dies down to 7.9 miles an hour by the end of the game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have a Stroman from Mike M saying Stroman has 5+ Ks, I believe. Yeah, 5+ Ks in 9 of last 10 and ended with 3 last game. Love to take consistent guy coming off the miss. Better juice spot. Stroman over 4.5 Ks at +120. Jay's final take is on the under 8. Bo Jackson's on the Cubs' first 5. Let's take a look at the line history here for Stroman versus Irvin. The Cubs open up at -189. They're now -187. This line never moved in the Cubs' direction. From the total side of things, it's opened up at 9. It's dropped all the way down to 8. Dropped down a full run. Now, that under 9 was juiced pretty heavy to the under. And it came out at 11:31 p.m. last night and only lasted there for 9 minutes before it moved to 8.5. Now it's at 8. The market telling us that Jake Irvin is going to have a good start. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 25% of the tickets. Wow. And 83% of the cash on the Washington Nationals. That's why the market hasn't moved over there. Then we have 93% tickets and 99% of cash on the under. And the market's moved heavily in that direction. Wow. Obviously, some sort of syndicate came in and made a monstrous bet on this under. Whether it was made at 9 or 8.5, I don't know. Mike M says this season starters coming off a loss as a favorite pitching in a non-divisional night game are 44-17-3 to the under when the line is shorter than the previous game. Since it moved a run, he's going to look live. Take it away for us, Doc. Cubs, Nats.
Yeah, there's a lot to read into the market on this one, right? I know I say a lot of guys. Some guys don't read the numbers into it. They're not scared of it. But me, I respect it either way, so you got to do that. But Stroman's sitting at 2-2 with a 2.29 ERA. Irvin, the call up, for the Nats. They're juggling around, their staff again, obviously, from the pen up to the starters. And I guess they were trying to tie him at the back end of the starters from what I was reading. But anyways, is Stroman a 2-1 favorite over the Nats on the road like that? I don't think so. I mean, I think he's a decent pitcher, but I don't think he's that strong. He commands that kind of price only because of the rookie. We know that for a fact. But I think the Nats could possibly stay within, and then their bats, they can be suspect at times too. So we'll see. It's all going to be dependent upon the call up. But with the move to the under, I'm just reading into the market on this. If you look at the total, what did you say the total was sitting at 8 right now?
Sitting at 8. The full game market has moved big. Now we've been impressed with bullpens. Moved a full run since the opening line. It's the first half that's just barely moved. Now it has moved from 4.5 to 4,
right.
But that 4 is heavily juiced to the over. And I imagine that you should be able to still find 4.5s. Let me just see what.
Well, I was thinking of a little correlation. If the money's coming in on the Nats, and they think this kid's going to have a decent start, why not take a +0.5 a run in the first 5 at a +100 number, and get even if it's a 2-1 or 3, or 2-1 doesn't get you paid, obviously. But I'm saying if you're thinking under, I think it correlates with the Nats too, in that regard, and the kid throwing a decent game. So maybe I'm probably going to stay off of this one, but I would lean the Nats in the first 5 with a 0.5 a run at a plus number. Instead of I wouldn't lean on them on the money line because that'd be a little dicey. But I feel more comfortable if it's moving that way. I would say the look would be either the under or the Nats with a half a run on the first 5.
Yeah, I agree. The first 5 is at 4 at Bet365. It's even money to the under. Over at Pinnacle, it's plus 101, almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
To the under. To the first half, or first 5 plus a half for the Nats is a plus 109. The first 5 plus 1 is just minus 130. Huh. Piker says, what am I missing here? Kid struggling at Rochester, never pitched in Major League Baseball before.
It's baseball.
Not Flush On says Stroman has a tendency to play to his competition, but Noli knows. Comfortably taking the Cubs first 5 minus a half.
Yeah, okay. That's good enough for me. I'll pass.
I will pass as well. Thank you guys for letting us know. And by the way, we know that Noli is the Jedi master of unders, but his first 5s that he's been taking, putting in our chat on the show have been hitting at an alarmingly high rate. So keep an eye out for when Noli is on the side. Mike M says Rochester's a tough place to play minor league ball because the fans just don't give a shit. I wouldn't have been able to tell that from downtown Rochester. All right, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Guardians 14-16, 10-8 on the road at New York Yankees 16-15, 10-8 at home. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Shane Bieber going up against Clark Schmidt. It was a very funny market in Clark Schmidt's last start at Texas. The market was moving towards the under, and I made the mistake of saying that the market is telling us that Clark Schmidt is going to have a good start. That was not the case, but it did go under. It was a 5-2 final, but Clark Schmidt was bad. 5 innings, 10 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 8 Ks, 1 walk. He was coming off of his first good start. And I thought the market was indicating he was going to have a good start, and I was wrong about that. So if I'd have to go back, but I believe I lost the first 5. I'm almost certain I lost the first 5 under, but the full game under did cash. Andrew G says Rochester sounds gritty. It's about the nicest thing you can say about the Dirty Chester, but it is close. The nice thing you can say about Dirty Chester is it's close to Finger Lakes Racetrack, which is a fun racetrack to go to. Bieber versus Schmidt. As much as we talk about a Bieber being vulnerable, it's almost quality start after quality start after quality start. So, he should be trusted. 2-1, 3.11 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, 26 Ks and 37 2/3. His last start, another quality start, 2 earned runs in 7 innings, 4 Ks, 2 walks, and a 5-2 win at Boston. He does it at Boston against the Red Sox team that's hitting the ball hard. He's just a good pitcher. Bieber versus Schmidt. Cleveland not hitting righties at all. 229, 650. Either of the Yankees. 233, 685 OPS. Neither team can hit righties. Let's go to the weather first, then the market, then the cash. First off, 52 Fahrenheit, cold in the Bronx. 7 miles per hour out to left center. And then rain comes in 2 hours into the game. 5.4 miles per hour again into left center. Mike M says the Nerfy in the series has been a gift. Says, where's TJ? Yes, I moved on it. That's my first Nerfy of the year. I don't really like Nerfies. I prefer, if I feel like I have an advantage in the first 3 or 5, I don't know why I'd cut it down to 1 inning personally, but I did jump on it, thankfully, yesterday because we had to double up first 5 under 3.5 and the Nerfy in this one. Let's take a look at the cash flow and the market movement. We'll start with the market, Bieber Schmidt. We have the Yankees opening up at plus 132. They're now plus 110. A huge move to the New York Yankees. Wow. The Tribe have gone from minus 143 to minus 119.
Wow.
Total wise, 7.5 as a pick'em, and that's exactly where it is right now. No movement on the total, just a huge move towards the Yankees. Razor Sharp Pick says Safi Joseph has 10 horses entered Churchill Downs over the next 4 days. He just had 2 horses die this week at Churchill.
Oh shit.
God. That's horrible. I'm not a fan of Safi, and that makes me despise him. All right, let's go over to the cash flow here and see what we are dealing with. Why do I not have it? Here we go. Cash flow for the Yanks game. We have 48% of tickets, 76% of cash on the Yankees. Market moving quickly towards them. Then we have 47% of tickets and 71% cash on the over, and the market not moving there. Cuban Connect in the house. What up, Cuban Connect? Bieber versus Clark Schmidt. You already broke down your Rays. Now let's hear you break down your Yanks. Guardians, Yankees in the Bronx. Take it away.
Yeah, I was looking at the offensive numbers on both these squads, and like you said, neither one of them is setting the world on fire. The Yankees are a whole. If there's one player in the league that means a lot to the team, the one important player is Judge, obviously, to the Yankees, and it's showing up big time right now. But Cleveland, they've had suspect bats over time, and Bieber's he has had bad success against the Yanks. He was like 2-1 with a 4.76 ERA against them, and he hasn't beaten them in the playoffs yet. But other than that, he's been pretty decent. So he can hold his own. And the Yankees not hitting, that's going to help his cause a little bit too. But as the Yanks turned the corner last night a little bit, maybe to kind of, they finally drummed up a win, late fashion last night. So maybe that gets them off the schneid a little bit. And then that market move, I'm not going to say that's a telling sign, but I'm not sold on either squad to put runs on the board. And with that rain, the possibility, that's another factor coming in that I'm not crazy about, getting involved in the games. There's going to be weather dictating, which way the ball bounces, especially, we know about wind, but rain's a whole nother animal. But I don't really have a decisive play on this game. Maybe look to, if the rain wasn't involved, I might look towards the Yankee team total over, because I think with the projection, I think maybe we get like 3 or 4 runs here. But with the weather coming in, that's going to put me off the game totally. But I would lean, even though the market says Yanks, I would lean Bieber's side here. Maybe first 5 for Bieber, but I'm going to be off this spot.
Yeah, I'm going to be off it as well. I think that the rain will help the Yankees. The Tribe has a great bullpen, but Clark Schmidt is the concern.
Yeah.
The earlier you can get Clark Schmidt out of there, if rain comes in, the better. Look, I completely get why the X's and O's have you guys on the under. At this point, with the bigger bets going to the over, I'm just going to stay off of it.
Yeah.
But some great notes here from the chat. Noli knows saying Cleveland 10-2 to the under last 12, scored 3 or less in 8 of their last 12. Yankees 3 or less in 10 of their last 14. Tell me you didn't just say that, said I'm writing unders on these two. Offenses have been putrid, under 7.5 and under 4 or 3.5 first 5. Good bullpens for both teams too. So exciting. Okay, so there's some discussions in the chat about whether cappers can hit 60% over a long term. We talked about what Ragoo did last year with us. Now I know the sample size probably wasn't exactly maybe enough, but he hit 58.7% here on the show, hanging out with us on the show. 58.7%. He had an ROI plus 18.09% with an average line of plus 104 here with us last year. 44 and 31. That's what Doc did on the show. If there's a sport that we're capping, I want Doc to be here on camera so we can learn from him. All right, so Guardians, Yankees, I will cheer you guys on. Oh, by the way, Ragoo, you're getting some love from our guy Cuban Connect, giving you, says Big Ragoo, what up, big homie. And Max Swelly, it was Mike M who gave us the Naylor RBI at plus 184. Okay, let's roll. Razor Sharp Pixie says you can have a losing record in MLB and still be up money. Records don't mean anything. Well, Win-loss records maybe don't mean anything. But I think he means win-loss records don't mean anything because, of course, records mean everything. And Jay's final take says all about that ROI. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's move on. Hunter Engelhardt says too many variables change with every pitch to maintain profitability over the season. Oh, if you have that's why you need a plus line. Is that what you're saying, Hunter? Because I see you beat MLB over a full season. But let's keep rolling, you guys. Next up, we have 7:10 p.m. Eastern, Minnesota Twins, Chicago White Sox. A lot of talk about this spot here. A ton of talk about this spot here. Sorry, let me. Okay, I was looking at something there. A ton of talk about this spot earlier on the show. A lot of talk about Dylan Cease bouncing back because the question always comes, do you trust Louis Varland? And, this is a 15th round pick. This was not a highly thought of prospect. And there's a reason why he's only started one game again this year. 4.50 ERA, 1.17 whip. But he looked good. It was at the Yankees. I mean, the guy, every time he pitches, he seems to pitch well, but yet he is not a mainstay in this rotation. Going up against Dylan Cease. What the hell do we get from Dylan Cease? Jewel Holder TV says the jewel of the day is Louis Varland and the Minnesota Twins. Because the cappers in the chat earlier were talking about backing Dylan Cease off an atrocious start. And that's what it was. The 14-5 loss home to the Rays. He was seeing the Rays for the second time in 5 days, and they were all over him. 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 of which were earned, 3 Ks, 2 walks. Now he's back home. The White Sox can't hit. 234, 660 OPS versus righties, while the Twins 242, 737 OPS versus righties. Rocco Rogers on Louis Varland over 4.5 Ks at -105. Oh, to be playing juice lines. I hear you, Hunter. Justin McElvey, White Sox first 5 money line. Now, I know we want to focus on this game, but we're talking about all sorts of different things. In the years that I've been doing this publicly, I've tracked a whole bunch of different MLB cappers. And I saw Ant L and Toite Latte have huge, huge success over 600 to 800 bets. Huge winning seasons when they have 96% favorites at big juiced prices. So there's lots of different ways to succeed in MLB. The key is whether or not you are succeeding. If you're not, change it. You're doing something wrong. If you are, take it to the fucking rack. Let's take a look at the weather here for this one. We have 46 Fahrenheit, very cold, and the wind blowing in. 8.9 miles per hour in, goes down to 6.4 and goes down to 42 miles per hour. Von Polo, we are discussing it. The main thing I want to do, and I'm sorry that we're all over the place, but the main thing I want to do is I want to have the Friday, Saturday pick 5. I think 2 or 3 races, or pick 6, 3 on Friday, 3 on Saturday. That's the main thing I want to do. So let's go over to the line history for this one. The line movement here for Varland Cease in a cold night in Chicago. The White Sox open up -134. They're now -118. We have 16 cents of movement towards the Minnesota Twins. On the total, we have it opening up at 8, and it's now at 7.5. It is juiced to the over, and it actually moved up to 8.5 this morning. That's wild. Moved up to 8.5 at 8:30 in the morning. Then 8, 8.5, 8, now 7.5. That's very, very, very interesting. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have 45% of the tickets and 65% of the cash on the White Sox and an 18-cent move to the Twins. Maybe that is why the jewel holder said that his jewel of the day is these Twinkies. Then from the total side of things, 77% of the tickets, 93% of cash on the under. So why in the world did it move to the over initially? Jay's final take, he got the over 8 at +100. All right. Take it away for us here. The floor is yours, Doc. Twinkies, White Sox.
Yep. Varland is short sample size. What the with the Sox. I get it. I get the underlook, but then again, like you said, the market's leaning back the other way towards over. So are they thinking that the Sox are going to hit Marlins go around? Their numbers are not stellar, on the right-handed side, but and Cease, they're going to Cease. Are they going to say that Cease gave it too many runs up last time? Is he going to bounce back to the middle? I trust Cease more than I trust Varland. I think maybe the second go out for the Cubbies. I mean, for the Sox will bode well for them at the plate against Varland. But these are usually tough spots. These two, they usually play each other in these little one-run games. And I feel that's going to be another spot here where we get this here, cooler temperatures. But, I would put my trust in Cease before I put it in Varland in a short sample size there. I think he gets the better of the two here. I mean, he's 4-4 career against Minnesota with 4.83, 59 Ks and 54 innings, so a K per inning. Maybe look at a K prop with him if you're interested. I don't know, maybe Sharpie can put a look on Cease because I know he likes to follow him pretty hard. But I would trust Cease if anything here. I'm not going to bet the game. I'll be off it, but I would maybe look at Chicago at a first 5 at a -0.5 run with a plus number here if you can get that. What do you got on a half run with Chicago in the first 5?
Let's find out. We'll head over to Penny to see what they will be offering us. Let's move here. White Sox first 5. You mean they're favorites? So you want the -0.5?
Yeah, -0.5 run.
Yeah, for -0.5 plus 108 at Pinnacle. But I could shop around and see if we can do better.
Yeah, you know what? I like that look. I think I'm going to put my trust in Cease here to kind of hold them down a little bit. I'm going to say that even though the Sox bats aren't crazy, aren't great, I think they're good enough to eke out a half run after 5 with Cease on the bump here. So I'm gonna go for that play there. I didn't have it marked down initially, but I'm gonna come off the cuff with that one.
And we can get you plus 110. It's available at Bookmaker and Bet. Chris, Matty Ice says, I think there is more to Cease. Let's just watch this one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's move it for you.
I was trying to pick some spots because I want to get a certain number of games in today, and I'm doing okay for what I said. I didn't want to bet 14 games, but I had like an 8-2 day in mind today, so I'm gonna gamble on Cease a little bit. He's like 50-50 for me, but I'm gonna take a shot with him.
And thank you to Billy Friedrich. We can get that plus 112. All right. Locked in. White Sox first 5 -0.5 at plus 112. Let's move on to 7:10 p.m. Eastern, Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. And for this, we call in a Boston ringer. He's got the guns out tonight. I think the chat is going to be extremely excited at what they see. Please welcome star of Say Hey Plays of the Day, Jose Toddler Arms, Heroin Arms, Bouquet. How are you, Jose?
It's serious today. Shit's serious. It's tough being a Boston sports fan this time of year. A lot of heartbreak this time of year for Boston sports fans. It's a gift and a curse. It's serious now. We have to deal with those fucking assholes from Philadelphia tonight. Have to deal with that chubby center they have with his weak toddler knees. Going to dispatch them, and then have to deal with this fat ass as well on the mound. This is a shit-talking fatty that we're going to have to talk about here.
Wow, you do seem locked in. Sharpie says you look like someone who lives in downtown LA on Skid Row.
I do look like that, yes. A lot of my cousins are out there.
Let's discuss this, my friend. Okay. All right. Fenway Park in Boston. Alek Manoah going up against Slick Nick Pivetta, who has been terrible against the AL East. But Manoah has not looked that good this year, but he seems to be rounding into form. 1-1, 4.88 ERA, 1.63 WHIP, 31 in the third, 20 Ks, 20 walks. The K to walk ratio, not going to cut it, Alec. 5 homers. Cuban Connect says just play the over in Toronto, Boston. Nate Dog 420 says Manoah over 4.5 strikeouts. Justin McElvey says the over is a strong bet. And Maddie, I see you are getting some positive comments. He says your shoulders and traps look huge.
I would like to give everyone a little breaking news. I am at the point of my breakup where I have considered going back to the gym. That is something that I have considered. So it's been bleak over here, I guess.
Well, are you smoking cigarettes still?
I have not had a cigarette in a while, but I will admit, someone left a pack of cigarettes from Pubapalooza in the studio, and I look at them every time I'm there, and I'm just like, I can't take them, but they call my name. They often call my name.
Okay, well, let's go here. Manoah versus Pavetta. So Manoah coming off a nice start, 3-2 win at home over the Mariners last out, and he's been better. It started with that start against the Yankees, followed it up with that start against the Mariners. Slick Nick Pavetta does not look good. 5.11 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. A lot of positive stuff. I thought it was all negative, but you're getting a lot of nice things. Slow Jams Arsenal also with real nice things to say about
rare.
you. Yeah,
it's rare. Thank you, Slow Jams. I've considered blocking Razor, I will admit, but I'm a stand-up guy, and I wouldn't do that. I've considered it though.
Pavetta's last start, 5-2 loss at the Guardians. The Guardians can't hit, and they got him for 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 2 walks. Jays are hitting just 250, 740 OPS versus righties. It pales in comparison to what the Red Sox are doing against righties. 269, 809 OPS here.
Thank you, Chocolate Waterfall. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, let's take a look at the weather here in.
I think that was to Big Ragoo, actually.
You want to start with Big Ragoo?
No, I think that was to Big Ragoo. I think that comment was directed to him, not to
you. Wish.
Let me see, man.
Fucking wish. Chocolatey Waterfalls is going to be waiting for you outside your door in about half an hour.
I wish, man.
So 45 Fahrenheit, 10.1 miles per hour in cold, and wind is blowing in over at Fenway. Gotta stay focused here. Don't listen to Chocolatey Waterfall's love for Jose. Stay focused. All right, let's take a look at the line history here in this one. We have the Jays opening up -134. They're now -133. From a total side of things, opened up at 9 and is now at 9.5. Been a lot of talk about moving on the over. And the market has moved in that direction. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. Red Sox, Blue Jays, AL East battle. 78% of tickets, 80% of cash on the Jays. Market not moving towards them. 51% of tickets, 79% cash on the under, but the market's moving towards the over. Very confusing market. Very confusing love for Jose. Take it away, Jose. Fenway Park, Jays, Red Sox.
Oh, man. Chocolatey Waterfall. And by the way, I didn't notice it was chocolate. I just thought it was chocolate waterfall. But yes, chocolatey. So not, at least like you guys said, not fully chocolate. Chocolatey. But this is going to be a fun game. I'm excited to watch this game. This has been the pitching matchup that's been circled for all Red Sox fans. Alek Manoah's tubby ass coming into Fenway Park. He was in this mini controversy. He likes talking shit. He did it with Garrett Cole. And, he last year he struck out Franchi Cordero, the franchise, as Yankees fans have been calling him. I think he's in AAA now, unfortunately for them. Pity. And then Bobby Dahlback, he was just talking shit to him, calling him pussies and shit. And Alex Verdugo called him out this offseason, said he didn't like that, et cetera, et cetera. So they had a ret-tat, whatever that is. I don't know English. But they went at it, and I think it's going to be a good pitching matchup and a good thing to watch this game. Now, I will admit it's interesting because when Garrett Cole and Manoah pitched, I was on Manoah that day because I knew he was going to pitch with the fury and spite of 10,000 Suns. And I'm a little worried as a Red Sox fan he's going to do that today. I think especially because Alex Verdugo is going to be the first batter as well. So, and Verdugo has been incredible as well this year. He's just fully erect every time he comes on the plate. It's awesome. It's great. I love it. But honestly, if I'm betting this game, I'm betting the under, and that's shocking to say. Nick Pivetta has not been horrible against the Blue Jays. And I always think, obviously he's Canadian. I always think he kind of finds a little bit of extra for the Canadian ball club. 4 starts against the Blue Jays yet last year. 4 innings, 5 runs, 4 2/3, 2 runs, 6 innings, 2 runs, 5 innings, 4 runs. That is as Nick Pivetta as you will get. That is almost like all of his starts, it seems. 4 innings, 5 innings, 4 earned runs, something like that. I think Manoah pitches well here, honestly. I'm not on the Blue Jays because I'm a homer asshole. So I lean towards the under here, but unfortunately I pass for this.
Took a while for the pass. I thought you were about to finally guide us towards some cash. By the way, Danzo says that you have some puffiness around your T-zone, and that perhaps chocolatey waterfall could give you a hydrating facial and some exfoliation. So think about that here. Let's hear what Ragoo has to say. Jays, Red Sox, take it away.
Hey, your Jays have been my nemesis this year. I finally caught Berrios the other night with Boston on a team total over. So thank you, Berrios, for paying me back a little bit of the 2 times I played you earlier that you stole my money, beat my Rays. And
by the way, it's not a surprise that Jose Barrios folds against my favorite squad, guys. That's not a surprise at all. I fucking broke.
It's about time. It's about time he paid me some money.
I fucking broke him mentally, Ragoo. I broke his ass, and whenever he thinks of me, fucking folds like a flapjack. But go ahead.
All right, I was glad we're on the same side that night. But anyway, I just took the team total. But today, Manoah, the only guy that's done any damage to Manoah is your boy Verdugo. That's it, man. Everybody else is fucking crickets, But I don't know. I think he's going to give up. I went to look at a walk prop on Pivetta, but they only listed at 1.5, and it's like fucking 215, something stupid like. And I haven't played a prop today all day, and I probably won't either. But anyways, that was a look I was looking at possibly. And then team total with Toronto sitting at 5. Not crazy about that. What's the weather like up there? It's cold, right?
It's a good question, Ragoo. It's a good question. We need a weatherman, Nasty Nate. Jimmy, you might be muted over there. Let me refresh
my bad. Some work being but yeah, it's foggy and cold. 44 Fahrenheit, wind blowing in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should just move on the under in this game, huh? Yeah. If we're getting the wind blowing in, it's shitty weather. Jimmy, you said the markets are all pointing that way too. Well, the lot of bets, the heavy bets are on that side, and the market.
I lean under. I lean the full game under here.
Yeah.
So I don't have an official play on this spot here, but I would look at your boy Nick's going to give up a few walks, probably 3, maybe 4. So maybe an alternate walk thing for if somebody wants to try to get cute with a prop there. But Manoah, I think an under. Maybe a Boston team total under, first 5, first 3, some shit like that.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you guys are saying X and O's wise, but the market just doesn't seem to be, going from 9 to 9.5, moving briskly towards, or I guess, what am I saying? There's just been no movement on the total. All of it. All of it's very tricky. Let's just go back to the cash flow quickly here on the money line. You have 78% of tickets, 80% of the cash on the Jays, and the market not moving towards them. I mean, they're saying Manoah's going to get touched up by these Red Sox bats that are doing everything that we thought they were capable of doing, Jose, when I was so close to I told you I was going to bet the season total win over and over, and I just couldn't do it last minute. But
yeah, I don't know. You bailed on me. I bet them to make the playoffs at plus 300. I'm in there. This has been a very fun Red Sox squad. And by the way, another update for everyone. Just a little more breaking news. The New York Yankees are still, in fact, in last place. Just a reminder to everyone, the New York Yankees are in last place.
Fire Aaron Boone, ASAP.
Well, I took the Yankees team total under, and I meant to add well, I didn't mean to. I just didn't have the balls to do it at the end of it.
Bet. And I think you thought of the idea of rooting for the Red Sox with me, and you just threw up in your mouth. You just like, fuck this.
But I loved everybody being down on them. That's just a sign that
yeah, fucking we have the best I guess he's probably gonna win Rookie of the Year. Fucking the Macho Man Masataka Yoshida's just really tested my love for Japanese baseball players, man. Whew.
We do have a question for you because I don't know. You haven't told us what your where is it? Do we not? It's not. It's not even coming up here in our chat here. But we do have a question from Mike. What's the blow me from behind play of the day? You do have one today?
This is it. This is it. Rays. Actually, no, I lied. That's in the basketball segment. And since we cut out the basketball segment, I don't want to sully it by having my homerism in it. I'll look at Razor right in the face right now and say the 76ers don't win another fucking game in this series. They're a bunch of fucking losers. I know someone that would call them a bunch of fucking yahoos. They're losers. They're frauds. James Harden's fat and out of shape too. Congratulations. He had the first big game of his life. Last time out, the Celtics come back. They win tonight handily. They cover that first quarter. I'll take that first quarter. I saw someone drop the first quarter -2.5. I'll take it -3. No problem. Shout out to Daryl as well because I've seen him cashing. He likes the side. He takes the first quarter. So shout out to Daryl. I'll get to Daryl later, too, because we all know where he stands, that fucking orange juice drinking motherfucker. But right now, it's Razor. Razor, you're going down. I can't wait for the Celtics to make Joel Embiid cry again, because that's all he fucking does. Cry, 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 and I can't wait to see him fucking fold tonight. 76ers lose, and the Celtics are the fucking balls.
We move on. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Baltimore Orioles 20-9, 11-5 on the road at the Kansas City Royals. 7-23, 1-13 at home. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's take a look at the weather in Kansas City. 71 Fahrenheit, 4.7 miles per hour out to center. It's finally warm and nice somewhere here. Let's take a look at the line history here for a couple of wily old vets, Kyle Gibson and Zach Greinke on the hill. Let's take a look at the Royals. They opened up at +136, now +147. So we have a 12-cent move to the Baltimore Orioles. But this wasn't a move. This didn't start really moving towards them until when? Until, I guess, 5 in the morning, 4 or 5 in the morning. From a total side of things, this opened up at 9, and as there's been a 2-cent move to the under at 9. A 2-cent move to the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow then here for Orioles Royals. We have 93% of the tickets, 88% of cash on the Baltimore Orioles. Then you have 62% of tickets and 71% of cash on the over. 62 and 71, but the market is not moving in that direction. Gibson, 3.93 ERA, 1.31 whip, 4-0. He's been okay. His last start was a 7-4 win at the Tigers, and he needed the offense to bail him out. 4 in the third, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, and 2 walks. Greinke has pitched well at home. But he's coming off a real ugly start at the Twins. It was his first really ugly start of the season. 3 2/3, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, and 3 Ks. I actually trust him, at Kauffman. O's versus righties, 253, 747 OPS. They don't destroy righties like they do lefties. Royals versus righties, 214, 605 OPS. O's bullpen is got to be considered a lead at this point, and the Royals bullpen is being bad. That is the situation. Take it away for us, Doc, here. Orioles, Royals.
Yeah, I like this matchup for runs here. I think, like you said, Greinke, he hasn't got a W yet. He's a little different at Kauffman Stadium. Gibson, he needs run support when he pitches. He's undefeated, but the Royals, they seem to give him runs when he's on the bump. It's just, you always have that pitcher on your squad where, let's say you have your ace and your team doesn't put up for nothing, and then you got one pitcher that wins games, like Carrasco when he went last year with the Mets. Every time he was up, the Mets always seemed like they scored like 7, 8 runs in a game when he was pitching. So I think we have that same look with Gibson here, and just depending upon maybe that livens up the bats for the Royals here too. At the same time, I think they can hit Greinke. So I like the over here. I'm going to be on the over full game.
I realize it's muted. Sorry, let's go. Let's keep giving it to you right now. Look, I completely understand the over. Gibson's vulnerable. The Tigers don't hit righties hard, and they got to him. Greinke at home. Greinke's had 2 starts at home. The first was the first start of the year against the Jays, and he went 6 innings, looked excellent. Allowed 1 earned run. Then he went against the Braves and allowed 4 earned runs over 6 innings. Honestly, Nutflesh Allen says that when Kristen and him were at LA at the Angels game, Zach was throwing meatballs. Says, I think even the sun's out, guns out guy could hit him. Oh, well, I know that guy. Let's go back to the line history here on that total. So a 2-cent move to the under and 62% ticket, 71% cash is on it. The Orioles can put 9 on their own against the Royals, so I can understand the look. I think that are we sitting here saying that Gibson on the road is as vulnerable, less vulnerable, or more vulnerable than Greinke at home, Ragoo?
Gibson on the road versus you like him at Kaufman, you said, right?
I always have over the last couple of years. I feel like now it hasn't been that profitable situation, but especially after a really bad start, I just feel like he seems to pitch decent until he gets arm fatigue. But early in the year, he seems to pitch decent. I mean, look at the 3 road starts for Gibson. The first was at Texas, and he looked good. First start of the year, 7 innings, 2 earned runs. But then at the White Sox, 5 1/3, 4 earned runs. Then at the Tigers, 4 1/3, 3 earned runs. Now that's a little different because it was the second time he was facing them. But who do you think is more vulnerable, the Greinke at home or Gibson on the road?
Let's see. On the road, he's a 5.4 ERA, right? 21 innings, like you said, 13 runs. And then let's look at Kaufman. Let's look at Greinke at home. Yeah.
Nate Dogg, I think you should be able to get the 5.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, Greinke on the road is a lot worse than he is at home, obviously. He's like a 9.22 this season. I'm going by it. This year, 3 games, 17 innings, 18 hits, 7 earned. So, yeah, he's like 3.6. So, you have to give the nod to, home versus road splits. Yeah, I give the nod to Greinke for sure.
I need to figure out. I think there's money to be made here. I really do. And let's get you your full game.
And that's the other thing I want to bring up, too. I don't like laying that kind of number with the O's, even though they're playing the Royals at home. You start getting into bigger numbers now with them. What you laying like 160? That's pretty strong number for. Orioles are a much improved team, so they're getting a lot of love from where they were at last season to this season, over year. So I'm not going to say they're becoming strongly overvalued, but they put more value into the team now, or you're getting less value with the O's than you were last year this time. I put it that way. And they're basically the same team. So
let's grab the Cuban sandwich. First time on our show, the Cuban sandwich play today is a parlay. Mets game 1 run line, Angels first 5 plus 100, Red Sox over. I'm going to spend some more time on this game here, but I want the first 5 under 5, and I may decide to take the first 3 under instead, and then I have some interest in the Royals first 3, but I could get off that one. I'm certainly not going to be heavily invested in this game. But I just feel like you can sort of explain Gibson's poor start against the Tigers. It was the second time seeing him on the road. So that's sort of an explanation. And Greinke got lit up at the Twins. I'm going to go over some more of the.
So you think Gibson's going to come back stronger this game and hold it down a little bit?
I do. I think that you can explain sort of what went wrong. He's had a better year than we're used to with him. Yeah. Only allowed 4 home runs and 34 in a third. I still think he's vulnerable. He's not. I certainly wouldn't take a, maybe, even like a Royals team total under 2.5 actually doesn't sound like that bad of an idea. I mean, we know what the Royals bats do, squat ass zilch.
Yeah.
So, but the O's can explode for 6 runs in any inning here.
Yeah.
So I can still understand your 9. Troy Torrance says, I think the O's team total over may be an automatic. I get it. Let's go. What was the weather again? One last time. Blowing up, but very, very low. Okay, I'm going to be moving on this here. Joe Yerger says Royals pitching side of this game is trash. I think there's going to be times where Greinke will have value for us at home, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm just not exactly sure how to do it at this point, but I will be doing it. All right, Nate Dogg moving on. Baltimore minus half, first 5. Nate Dogg, you should easily be able to find the 5 because the 5 right now is juiced pretty legitimately to the under. DC Capper on the Baltimore minus 1.5. Joe Yergowitz on the Orioles full game money line. But Canadian Capper, that was the second straight time he faced Detroit. And look, I get it. I get it. But when the lineup sees you 2 straight times and you don't throw very hard. Billy Friedrich saying Timo Meyer will be a game time decision. He didn't score a point in that first series, Timo. Okay. Ragoo's on the over 9 at minus 108. We have 3 games left before NBA. Let's get into the next one. 7:45 p.m. Eastern. By the way, Billy Brisbane ready to rock for us here. Another capper who has a very beautiful winning record here on the show with official picks. Angels, Cardinals. Angels 16-14, 8-9 on the road. Cardinals 10-20, 5-9 at home. 10-20 are the St. Louis Cardinals. How good was Molina? Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. Let's take a look. I mean, Molina being so good is really showing here. Ohtani versus Michaelis. Let's take a look at the weather. First off, Michaelis coming off of a good start finally. 67 Fahrenheit, 7.4 miles per hour to center. Goes down to 5 miles per hour. Bo Jackson says Cards have yet to win a first game of a series this season. Pay attention. For the line history in this one, we have the Cards opening up at plus 129. They're now plus 119. 10-cent move towards the Cards. From a total side of things, it's opened up at 7.5, minus 112 to the over. It's now minus 115 to the over. 3-cent move to the over. 10-cent move to the Cards. Lucas taking the Orioles team total over. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for Cardinals, Angels. 61% of the tickets, 86% of the cash on the Angels, and a 10-cent move towards the Cardinals. That tells you Michael is going to have a nice start. 62% of tickets on the under and 41% of cash. That doesn't. A little confusing. Carlos Garcia liking the Cards. Rocco Rogers says Angels first 5 again for me. So I don't care. I don't get why the Sharps keep backing the Cardinals. This team is in trouble. Nate Dogg also looking at the Angels minus a half, first 5. Ohtani coming off a rare stumble. 6 innings, 3 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 8 Ks, 2 walks, and 8-7 win at home over the A's. Michaelis coming off a great start. Now was at the Giants in the pitcher's ballpark, but 6 1/3, 4 hits, no earned runs, 6 Ks, 2 walks against Giants team that hits righties. Angels are 238, 722 versus righties. Cards are 253, 726. Take it away for us here, Doc. Fascinating one. Ohtani, Michaelis, Angels, Cards.
Yeah. How do you bet against Ohtani to start out with, number one? And it almost seems like a cheap price that you're getting on him here. And a lot of the games that, when he's up, you get these lower scoring games also. And you're looking at the number. We're looking at an 8, right? So that moved up from 7.5 to 8. So is the market moving towards the over in this game?
A 3-cent move. I'll take a look at Pinnacle. 3 cents at Pinnacle, but we have. Well, I've got 8s. Oh no, I've got 8s listed. All the other books though.
That's where they opened up at.
Oh, I'll check. Well, why don't we pick a book to see? Because it's telling me here that Pinnacle and Heritage are the only books at 7.5. So why don't we take a look at what Bet Online has done, because we know that they'll come out with it earlier. So let's go over here, check out the movement for the total over at Bet Online. Let's get there. Here we go. God, sorry, I can't find it. Here we go. Bet online. So we have their 5 cents. 5 cent move to the under from -120 to -125. So they opened it at 8, and they never let it. It never touched 7.5.
So it's been 8 pretty solid then. So I kind of like. I think this is a buy on spot for Ohtani here after he comes back, from where he after the rough start there, and Mikolas, like you said, 10 wins. That's hard to believe with the Cards here. And they've always been a team. I think I've bet them. I think I've had 2 of those 10 wins with them this season because I've only bet them twice, and I've won both times when I bet with the Cards. So usually I'm snake bitten by this team, but I think I want to look at Ohtani like in a first 5 spot here. I think he comes back off of that, that little bit of a rough start that he had, but he's 4-0, right? 1.85 ERA.
Yes, 1.85 ERA, and that's after allowing 5 earned runs in 6 innings last start.
Yeah, that's crazy when you think about it. But I think he comes back for a better start. No run line action here for me because the Cards is one of those teams that loves to play in 1-run games. They always seem they're involved in these 1-run games a lot, and then I think, and I lean towards the under in this spot too. I think a first 5 under. And Ohtani is a look for me here. So I'm going to grab Ohtani on the I'm going to go with the money line here. I'm not going to go with the half run because, like I say, these 1-run games with the Cardinals. So I think Mikolas, he might bounce back here a little bit too. So I think both pitchers will bounce back here and have a decent first 5, first 5 innings. But I'm gonna say maybe the Angels eke out like a 2-1, 1-0 type first 5.
Yeah, I would like to move on a first 5 under because I think Michael has turned the corner against San Francisco. I do not think he's the gas can that he looked like to start the year. But
my first bet was I thought under first 5. So I'm going to double up on that. And I'm going to take I'm going to go for this first double up I played today. I'm going to do the first 5 under, and I'm going to take Angels on the first 5 too.
All right, let's line shop for you here. We'll start with the first 5 under. First 5 under for you in the Angels game. Angels Cards. We can get you under 4 at -108. First 5 under 4 at -108. And then the Angels first 5 money line. The best we can get you for that one is pretty expensive.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right, so what's a half run?
Well, let me just see what Pinnacle, because they're not showing Pinnacle here, but I can get it here I'm up on the site. So you can get you at Pinnacle, they have the first 5 money line at -144. That is the cheapest.
Yeah, no, pass.
Okay, -0.5 is -101.
All right, we'll do that.
Okay. First 5 -0.5.
This way, if I split with the Angels on the lead, I mean, if it's if it's a 0-0 game or a 1-1 game, I'll lose a penny on it. So book it.
This doesn't quite correlate for me. I wish it did, because I see the market telling me that Michael is going to have a nice start, which would then lead me to the first 5 under.
Yeah.
But it feels like that isn't moving the way I would want it to move, because 60% of the tickets are on the full game under, but just 41% of cash. So I'll stay off that spot. We have a double up there. Piker saying Michael is on his fade list with guys like Waka and Corbin. Waka was excellent yesterday. I mean, those are 3 guys said I'd be against them without Shohei on the bump. See, those are 3 guys I see value in, all 3 of those guys. Michaelis, Waka, and Corbin. But let's move on here. And that's part of the fun, is not being, but Andrew G agreeing with you. And I know the public's all over fading those 3 guys. All right. Lucas Ryan says, everyone at the bar last night was talking about Ohtani. So excited to watch him in person. Have fun, Lucas. And Lucas Ryan's birthday tomorrow, too. Enjoy that, my man. All right, 2 games left, 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Milwaukee Brewers 18-11. Bo Jackson says, anyone who wants to bet on Michaelis doesn't know how to use StatsMuse. Okay. So, he's coming off an excellent start. What about that? What about the people who bet on him against San Francisco when the market was moving towards him and they won 6-0? Eric Lauer going up against Kyle Freeland at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Let's take a look at the weather first here, and then we'll move in to the cash flow. Where did I put the weather? Sorry. God damn, too many things up here. Here we go. Okay, so we have 75 Fahrenheit, 7.1 miles per hour, right to left, pretty much across the diamond. Then it's out, 6.5 miles per hour, 6.8 miles per hour out. Then we'll go over to the line history for this one. Second to last game on the card, Lauer versus Kyle Freeland. We have the Rockies opening up at plus 111 and now plus 103. An 8-cent move towards the Colorado Rockies and Kyle Freeland. From a total scenario, this opened up at 11.5 and it's now at 12. So a move to the Rockies and a move to the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. 53% of the tickets, 95% of the cash on the over. Market moving in that direction. 74% of the tickets, 51% of the cash on the Brewers. So just 26% of tickets and 49% of cash on the Rockies. That tells me that both the Rockies and the over's live. Now, I lost a double up on this game yesterday. I don't really want that to get in my head, but certainly is in my head. And one of the problems here is that these teams do not hit lefties. Eric Lauer coming off an ugly start at home versus the Tigers. The Tigers have an OPS versus lefties under 700, just like both of these two teams. And they got to Lauer. Kyle Freeland coming off a 9-1 loss at home versus Arizona, but he had a quality start in that loss. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Milwaukee just 207, 623 versus lefties. Rockies just 240, 652 OPS versus lefties. And that's strange because this used to be a Rockies team that smashed lefties. Take it away for us here, Ragoo. Brewers, Rockies.
Yeah, maybe they don't smash lefties, but they smash this guy. That's for sure. The majority of the lineup hit him pretty well. When I seen that 12, I was thinking, 4 field goals, a touchdown, a field goal and a safety possibly to get to 12. But anyways, I think the Rockies are the side here. I think the market dictates that. I was leaning towards a team total over with Colorado, but they've had their struggles. Like you said, hitting lefties. Both of these teams have. So that's why I was like, the number's pretty tall with the 12 there. So somebody's got to be scoring some runs. And if you don't think they're hitting lefties, then bet the under. That's all I can tell you. But I like Colorado to hit this guy. I think they snap out of it here. They got the same amount of wins as St. Louis, 10 wins. And usually Freeland's a good play for them at home. So he's going to be their savior today. I'm going to take the Rockies on the team total over. Smash this guy, Lauer.
Yeah, I get that. The Rockies' first 5 team total over at BetOnline's 3.5 at plus 105. That seems nice. The Rockies' team total over full game at BetOnline's 5.5 at minus 115. Even that sounds nice, but I still do have some concern about the Brewers' bullpen going up against them. I know their whip. They are regressing, but I still think that they're good and much better than the Rockies bullpen. Let's see what Pinnacle's offering you for the team total. They're offering you 5.5 at minus 108 for the Rockies. And let's see what that first 5 team total is as well. It's same thing, 3.5 at plus 105. So what would you like to make official?
3.5 plus 105 and 5.5 at minus what?
105 or 108.
108. 3.5. Yeah, give me the 3.5 first 5.
I'm gonna join you on that. Rockies first 5 team total over 3.5 at plus 105. Anything else you want on this one?
That is it, my friend.
I'm going to be getting involved here as well. Eric Lauer now has allowed 6 home runs in 26 innings. He's a pitcher that I'll like in certain situations. This is not one of them. This is a bad team in Colorado, and you're getting a nice number because it's a bad team. So I find this appealing, which would be only focusing on the first 5 because we know there's a better team and a better bullpen on the other side. So I'm going to move on that first 5 team total over and the Rockies first 5 as well. Rockies first 5. All right, I like it. All right, let's move on to the final game we have before we get into NBA. 9:40 p.m. Eastern. Seattle Mariners 13-16, 6-7 on the road at the A6-24, 3-13 at home at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. The weather in Oakland, 53 Fahrenheit, 5.3 miles per hour out, goes down to 4.9. You know, it swirls and it's a pitcher's park, so that's pretty good weather for an under if you like that. Let's take a look at the line history here for Logan Gilbert and JP Sears. We have Oakland opening up at plus 156, now plus 157, no movement. Total wise, this opened up at 7.5 and is now at 8. So we have a move to the over and no movement on the side. And Logan Gilbert coming off back-to-back starts where he allowed 4 innings. We have 86% of the tickets, 92% of cash on Seattle. Market's not moving towards them. Then 79% of tickets, 77% cash on the over, which tells me that both pitchers here are vulnerable. There's Ick Schnizzle in the house. Great to see you, Ick Schnizzle. And Gambler's First Glance is the Rockies money line at plus 105. I will go over that when we do a review of all action. Rockies money line at plus 105. Logan Gilbert coming off line 4 runs in 5 innings at the Phillies. You know, it's not an easy place to pitch, and the Phillies can hit. 4.23 ERA, 1.12 whip on the year. Sears coming off an ugly performance. He went up against Shohei Ohtani. They lost 8-7 at the Angels. He allowed 6 earned runs in 4 and the third. But Seattle just 199, 642 versus lefties. Now Oakland doing the same thing versus righties. 212, 643 OPS. Take it away for us here, Ragoo. Last game on the board, Mariners Ace.
Yeah, my first lean was an under on this spot here. And then I was looking at the line. You know, they had a bunch of injuries yesterday, so I got to pay close attention to the lineups today. I know Rodriguez was out and then Diaz was out also. But anyways, I look at the lineups, and then I know, you know, it's a short number too. We're sitting at 7.5 still on this spot here, right?
It's moved to 8. It's moved to 8 at Pinnacle. And
so Rodriguez must be coming back in the game then, I'm going to presume. Yeah, let me look at the lineups here. Yeah, he's listed top of the order here, so that makes sense there. So anyways, yeah, I mean, both if you look at the ERAs on both these pitchers, you know, they're pretty strong, but the opposite side's hitting, you know, the way they hit righties and lefties, that kind of coincides with the number a little bit here. So, I mean, it's not a game that I really got excited about. I would definitely lean Seattle's way, you know, because I think Gilbert is the better pitcher here, and they have the better lineups, obviously. So, but it's a pretty strong number for me to get involved here. If my look would probably be a first 5 look on the Seattle side, possibly with the half run. You know, maybe that would be the better look. Maybe get like a shorter negative number there, maybe like a 130 or something like that. But it's not a look that I want to get involved with here. Taking Seattle on the road, you know, just some reason the A's seem to play them tough when they play them. But I would lean Seattle's way here, so I'm not going to have an official play on this one. But how about that Miller kid yesterday throwing that huge game up there?
That was fun. Fun to watch those 2 kids firing away.
That's going to be a kid to watch in the future. Mark his name down, Bryce Miller. But anyways, it's a game I'm going to stay away from here.
Just before we review all action and move past this one. Oh, shoot. I want to look at the preview. Damn it. Let's just look at a little preview. And I want to go over Sears' last starts here. So last 2 are both on the road, and he got lit up. But he's had 2 starts at home, and he's been decent. Quality start at home versus the Mets. An okay start against Cleveland. Gilbert coming off 2 starts where he didn't look great, and now this is a back-to-back road start situation. Let's just look at the batter versus pitcher here, because you know what? I mean, I imagine that both of these pitchers are vulnerable. Against Logan Gilbert, Oakland has good numbers, really good numbers. And then
they give him fits. They give the Mariners fits.
And against Sears, you know, they don't hit him. I wonder if the A's are live. Carlos Garcia. I mean, you know, we've had a great run in the playoffs. obviously I lost with the Stars last night, but I think everything's going to be fine, and we'll keep winning there. Mike, I'm saying Logan in a 17-2 spot.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I wonder what he means by that.
Yeah, he always expands when we ask him to. So, all right, I kind of like Sears to be okay here. I wonder if,
and I think he's better than what his numbers show too. To be honest with you,
I wonder if the A's first three would be a spot to attack. I wonder. I certainly don't want to invest heavily on this. Piker says both these pitchers pitch around the plate a lot. You need to see anything positive from the A's before you bet them. And then
what about a first five with a plus a half a run? What do you get for
that? First five plus half. Here, let me check that out first. Move over to run line. First five. Oh man. Okay, it's this is not something's wrong with the site. So I'll just go right to Pinnacle here for this first five plus a half for the Oakland A's. You will get plus 101.
Yeah. I'll stand pat where I'm at.
All right. Let's review all action here. Let's give a quick shout out to our guy Razor Sharp Picks. Gambler's First Glance is in. Razor and I will be hosting together all Friday and Saturday long, so you can join us there. That's our Kentucky Oak special on Friday, and then on Saturday the same deal, 10:15 a.m. it starts off. And Razor has given us the Colorado Rockies money line. Colorado Rockies money line at plus 105. Shout out to Razor Sharp Picks.
Hey, I was noticing something on your picture. The Oaks picture was Razor like neck and neck with you, and then you pulled away from him a little bit.
I did pull away near the end. I pulled away.
Okay.
But it's always tough going up against Razor. Carlos Garcia in July, MLB All-Star break. I'll be in LA, and I can't wait to run a whole bunch of cappers. I can't wait to hang out with. So looking forward to that. All right, let's review all action and then bring on a Brizzy for NBA. Here we go in MLB. Ragoo, you got your card started with the first five under 5, and that got a lot of love here. TJ on that as well, and you're through a half inning with unscathed. That's a good sign. Game 2, we've stayed off, but there was a lot of love for the Mets in the chat. Ragoo's on the over 8.5 in Arizona, Texas. He's on the first 5 under 4 minus 117 in San Francisco, Houston. I was going to move on the first 3, and I'm going to have to bet this now. The first 5, excuse me. I was going to move on it as well. Let's see if there's been any move here. Taking a second to come up. The first 5 is still under 3 at plus 105. I'm going to have to bet that. I'm going to have to bet that. I'm going to have to bet that when we're talking NBA. So that game pops off in 19 minutes. Ragoo's on the Phillies minus 1.5 plus 151. I'm on the Phillies money line. Mike M. hip to be square play of the day is Padres Rays plus 101. He's 2-0 over his last 2 and up 5.18 units now on the season. Ragoo's on the Padres minus 1.5 minus 129. Justin McAfee stacks play of the day is Padres team total over 5.5 plus 105. The Carlos Garcia's reverse cowgirl play of the day is a parlay. Philly money line, Marlins money line. Just go to sleep, wake up, and get paid. Taint play of the day is Atlanta, Miami, first 5 under 4.5. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is Atlanta. Excuse me. Ragoo's on the first 5 under 4.5 minus 106. And I'm going to be on the Marlins first 3 money line and first 5 plus a half. Ragoo's on the Rays minus 1.5 at plus 102. We're off of Cubs, Nats, off of Guardians, Yankees. Ragoo's on the White Sox first 5 minus a half at plus 112. We are off of Jays, Red Sox. Then the Cuban sandwich parlay of the day from Cuban Connect. Mets game 1 run line plus 100. Angels first 5 plus 100 and Red Sox over. Ragoo's on the over 9 in Baltimore, Kansas City. I'm going to get involved with Kansas City or the under early. It might just be the under. Might be a first 3 under. I'm leaning towards the first 3 under. Ragoo's on I think that's what I'll end up doing. Ragoo's on the first 5 under 4, and the Angels first 5 minus a half at -101. Then Razor Sharp picks Gambler's First Glance, Rockies money line. Rockies first 5 team total over 3.5 for Ragoo, and I want to be involved in that. Rockies first 5 team total and the Rockies first 5, and then I'm going to be on the A's first 3. Beautiful, JPZ. I love it. Let's grab it. Yeah, the Commerce Casino is a great place, man. All those are great. So yeah, let's do that, Carlos. A hundo. I'd love that. All right, and Jorge Don't Play said he smashed the Metal Arc Lemon play of the day. It's up 1.74 units since its inception. I love it. There we go. Big Ragoo, it is a pleasure to work with you and to watch you work. I think it's a pleasure for all the cappers in the chat to see how you do your thing. We're very thankful that you cap with us. Please follow Ragoo at Big Ragoo 62 on Twitter, and you can catch Ragoo again with us on Saturday for the Kentucky Derby here live.
Baby. Let's go.
Sports Radio. Ragoo, any last words here for the Cappers Sporting Show?
All love to the cappers in the chat. You know, you guys got a special place in my heart. Always will. And let's cash some fucking tickets, baby. Let's cash some tickets, and we'll see you Saturday and see you at the window.
I love it. There he is, the Big Ragoo from Ocala, Florida. All right, let's move on to NBA with your NBA expert. His chair is empty right now, so we can begin discussing the situation, hoping that he will come back to his chair. But yesterday was bad. I got the 2.5 first quarter on the Knicks. They were up 2, and then they looked terrible first half, and they look bad overall. I mean, sure, they pushed the -6, but we all know what happens when the star player's out. Every single game all year, that team steps up. It got to 10. I thought we had a great opportunity. That was not the case. Now, this is a game very near and dear to our Jose Bouquet's heart. So let's hear from Jose Bouquet and our NBA expert. Both are ready to rock. Let's first bring on the mighty pythons of Jose Bouquet. Jose Bouquet, you've already shown us your hand. You are very bullish on your Celtics. I'm very interested in how you are going to bet it. And then let's bring on our expert coming off a 1-1 day. It got screwed over with 3 at the end of the half. That cost him the Celtics -3.5. But he did cash the Celtics team total over very, very easily. I'm talking about our guy from South Jersey now, 19-15 on our show, hitting at 55.9%, plus 2.24 units, ROI +6.59%, average line +109. Please welcome from South Jersey, Billy Brisbane to the show. Brizzy, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, man. We're supporting a new movement, man. You know, the debut of the male crop tops. Yes, that is a movement in the fashion world. Males wear crop tops.
Yep. No, I'm with you, Billy. Crop tops are back nowadays. I look great in one.
I love it. I feel like it's for a skinny look, man. For skinny people out there in the world, they get a little bit hot, a little bit cold. We wear the male crop tops.
Well, I don't want to know anymore. I want that to be the end of this. Let's get to work. 8 p.m. Eastern, East semifinals, game 2. Philadelphia up 1-0. Let's take a look at the line history here and the cash flow for this giant game. Do we have confirmation on Joel Embiid?
I got Joel Embiid in, and he's playing tonight.
Yeah, they were talking about that on ESPN earlier, so I assume he's in as well.
All right. Well, the site that we've been using for our line history has fallen off for us, so we got to use our old site. So this is going to give us Bet365. It's going to give us Bet365's line movement on this game. And for that, we have Boston opening up at 9 here, 9, and they're now at 7.5. 7.5. So Boston 7.5 point favorites. From a total perspective, it's opened up at 218, went up to 218.5, got down to 216.5, now sitting at 217.5. So we have a move towards the Sixers. That's probably, player personnel related, not cash related. We'll find out. And we have a 1 point drop in the total. Jay's final take says it's Sixers time. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. The lone game on the NBA slate. Move over here, and we have 70% of the tickets on the Sixers and 46% of the cash. From a total scenario, we have 77% of tickets on the over and just 38% of the cash. So I feel 23% of tickets and 62% of cash on the under, and maybe that is the look here. This series opened up at a pace of 91 possessions a game. Very, very slow pace. Philadelphia has been playing at that pace all series long, 90.6 possessions a game. They were 97.44, 27th in the league during the regular season, playing much slower here. The Celtics were forced to play at the Sixers' pace. Probably don't want to keep doing it. Sixers won game one in impressive fashion, 119-115 without Embiid. Horford publicly talked about the lack of defensive intensity. Harden went for 45, Maxey 26, Harris 18, Melton 17, and they got 10 and 13 from Paul Reed. Boston got 39 from Tatum and 23 from Jaylen Brown. Celtics had a 66-42 advantage in points in the paint, but Harden shot 17 of 30 and took over the game. Billy Brisbane, take it away. Flyers, Celtics.
Sixers, Celtics.
Flyers.
We wish we were getting playoff hockey in Philadelphia. That would be only in our dreams. It might be a couple of 4 or 5 more years till that happens. But for this game, it feels like the Celtics entered game one really cocky, and it feels like the whole entire playoffs, this team's been really cocky. I mean, they act like a switch. They want to turn it on, they want to turn it off. I mean, they're not that good to be just playing when they want to play. I mean, the Celtics are a hard team to fade at home. They're 9-2 straight up in their last 11 games at home, but the Sixers are 1-5 ATS last 6 games versus Boston. Not the best number to back, but Embiid should be back tonight in the MVP, got his much-needed rest, and even with this being his first game back, I love the spot tonight. Joel Embiid over 24.5 points, -122. He's averaged 36.8 points per game versus Boston and cleared this line 4 out of 4 games versus Boston this season. And if you're on Prize Picks today, shouts to Prize Picks, make sure you use promo code PupSportsRadio. I'm filling in for Sharpie, by the way, on a side note. So if your comments don't get pulled up, don't be angry. It was not Big Show's fault. But if you're on Prize Picks today, Joel Embiid over 15.5 field goal attempts. He's gone over his field goal attempts in every game versus Boston with 18 field goal attempts, 21 field goal attempts, 21 and 25. I feel like the odds makers are disrespecting Philadelphia tonight. I got the Sixers plus 10.5. -150 at Brigada Sportsbook in Atlantic City. And I also played Joel Embiid over 24.5 points, -122 at Brigada Sportsbook in Atlantic City. And if you're back in Boston, I would do it early, first quarter, first half. They might be a little bit pissed off coming into tonight. But it's just a hard team to really trust to say that they want to show that they want to win this game. I think that they probably will win this game, but I think the Sixers in 5. And if the Sixers win this series in 5 games, I got Philadelphia winning this game tonight. So the 3 plays, Sixers plus 10.5, -150. Joel Embiid over 24.5, -122. And yes, Jose's looking up to the sky. He's eye rolling already. We're taking the Sixers on the money line tonight. If you're scared, go to church, man. Nobody wanted to back the parlay yesterday. The VIP play yesterday was Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks plus 254. I feel like I've been getting hot again. I feel like the trigger's been rolling for me, and we're going to pull the trigger here on the Sixers money line tonight. I think the Sixers win this series in 5 games. Sixers money line was plus 290.
Did you tweet this out already?
No, the card that I'm tweeting out for tonight is the Invicta fight card. So unless you watch Betting with the Bag or the replay, you're not getting the place.
So do we want at this point, we can't give you the 10.5 as it's not available just for show record?
10.5 is available. I'll take a picture for it for you on multiple books. You can bet it on PointsBet. You can bet it on FanDuel. You can bet it on Bet365. You can bet it at Brigada Sportsbook or BetMGM. So
Jesus. Okay, because it's Bet365. I'm on it. It's plus 8.
I could send you a picture of it in your.
You don't have to. I'm on it. I'm signed in. I'm logged in. It's 8.
No. I'm gonna send you a picture of BetMGM right now. So
Okay, sure. Wow. So some of these public books still have the 10.5. So let's get that for you. And then what is the money line at MGM? 590 or 290? Sorry.
Money line BetMGM is 290. I'm
All
sending
right.
that picture over to you right now too, as well.
Okay. No, you don't need to send me a picture. I believe you. It's all good. Like, don't worry about that. You don't need to send that. I just I thought you were talking about the spot here at Bet365. So that's excellent work here. 3-1 Tigers, by the way. You can get plus 293.
I got a quick question for you, Jim. Before I place this 3-leg parlay in, we went a little bit degen today. And what are your thoughts on Devils Hurricanes? Who would you pick?
Devils.
All right. So the Sixers money line, Devils money line, and you know me with the hockey names. I'm going to jack the name up. Leon Draisaitl, anytime goal, and it was plus 1442.
Jesus, and you want to make that official here? Oh,
yeah, just a little sprinkle. That you could just put like in the parentheses sprinkle. That's not an official play.
Okay,
but that's definitely. I definitely want to throw that in for the people because you can put $10 on it and win 175. You could put $20 on it and win $300. Like it's a play that I'm on for tonight. It's my lotto ticket.
DJ, I only made money in the Carolina Islanders series. I did not lose money. I profited, healthy in that series, even though that 5-1 ridiculous 5-1 game cost me the under. So yeah, thank you. Not only is it cute, but I've been making money, DG. So I'm both cute and financially better off. I'm trying to get this baseball bet in here as quick as possible.
I'll kill some time off for you. Invicta fights come on tonight. Invicta 53. Make sure you guys head over to your books and go over to Invicta Fight Weekend. Starts tonight. And the card that we're going to be on tonight is first fight of the night. We're taking the underdog Kai Bennett, the hometown underdog of Denver. And then the 2-leg parlay that we're going to roll out tonight is Jessica Dalbani and Claire Guthrie, 2-leg parlay, minus 135. So we have a minus 135 2-leg parlay, and that is a half unit. And then we have Kai Bennett, first fight of the night, plus 155 underdog, just a little quarter unit shot.
I love it.
Those are your Invicta fights that come on tonight, starting at 9:00 p.m. Prelims and main card, both available on YouTube.
Beautiful. I hope those fight picks are solid, Billy, because I know your fucking NBA picks are trash tonight because the Celtics are the balls. You know what's going to happen, Billy? Joel Embiid, he's going to get snapped in half by average Al Horford. Marcus Smart's going to go out there. He's going to look at James Harden in the face and say, you cannot do this again, sir. I like his under 21.5 points, I believe it is. Let me double check. Yeah, under 21.5 points, minus 114. Jimmy, you can make that official for me because Marcus Smart, Derek White are going to go, yeah, and put the clamps on him, and it's going to be great. Joel
Keep telling yourself that, Jose. We stole game 1 without our MVP. You guys got Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, all these motherfuckers, and they couldn't win shit. They were letting Paul Reed out there look like the second coming of fucking Shaq.
Well, that's B-ball Paul. What can you say?
All Boston motherfuckers should know from the Sunday night game against the fucking Bruins that you guys are soft. That team, that city don't got the grit like us. We're fucking dogs in Philly, man, and we're taking the underdogs
tonight. That's what Philadelphia is all the time now. Second place in the Super Bowl, second place in MLS, second place in everything, and second place in this series.
Well, we need to be in first place tonight on May 3rd of 2023. What happens in June happens in June, but on May 3rd, 2023, the Sixers money line, you heard it here first, Sixers and 5.
They're already satisfied winning this game, Bill. They're already sad. They don't want this game anymore. They're gonna fold like flapjacks, like they always do. Joel Embiid's gonna be the only player that shows up in this game because he's rested and ready to go. You're gonna cash your player prop pretty easily. No,
don't put those Boston Celtics in your money line parlays tonight with that baseball shit. Don't. I know Otani's on the mound tonight, and people are trying to get those parlays in, but I'm telling you right now, the Sixers are going to be spoiling the party, the Boston Tea Party, because you guys are too soft. Who the fuck has a tea party?
The Boston Celtics and the Boston. They liberated America. They did it for America.
Cheesesteaks and fries, god damn it, while you guys are drinking on your fucking teas with your pinkies up like pussies.
Well, I'll take it. Pinkies up because we're classy gentlemen. We're going to win this series. Joel Embiid's a soft pussy like he always is. Doc Rivers is going to choke like he always fucking does. The only time he never choked was when the fucking Celtics and KG said, "Get on my back. I'm taking you for a
maybe
ride."
You should tell your freaking coach to keep his shit in his pants, and maybe the Celtics would have won a game by now.
Well, unfortunately, you said it perfectly, Billy. This fucking team of cocky assholes think they can just show up and win any game. And he gets slapped in the mouth once or twice, and Joe Mazzulla needs to put his hands.
So the team that wants to show up and try to win any game, they should be laying a touchdown to 10 points tonight.
No way in hell. That's why we think the first quarter they're gonna win this game. It doesn't matter. Fuck.
Get your little measly little 4 or 5 point win and your little tea and cookies tonight, because it's gonna be a long off season for those Celtics.
I will gladly accept the 4.
They're gonna be in Cancun with the Bruins, going out there and try to do their little thing, man. I mean, you guys are a little bit soft around here. My guy Jim already knows Philadelphia is hot right now. Jim's got that little future ticket on the Phillies. Bryce Harper came back last night. Philadelphia's vibing right now. We got DeAndre Swift in the draft. It's what better place to be than Philadelphia.
Literally anywhere else would be a better place to be than Philadelphia. There's not a worse. Actually, New York is equally as worse of a place, but there's just scum of the earth there. There's nothing good there.
Razor said, "I want to be on Billy's side, but he's wearing a crop top hoodie." So ...
Well, that's where we can agree on. That's where we have the epic handshake. Crop top hoodies are in nowadays, guys.
Ask Ezekiel Elliott, man. Ezekiel Elliott was the trend starter, man.
I'm going to be moving on the under in this one. I'm going to be moving on the under. It's 217. I'm going to see what Bet Online has, but that will be my look on this spot. The under.
I don't blame you on the under. I was talking to Dave about this a couple of days ago when he was betting the under on the game one. I was saying to him that just because Joel Embiid gets pulled off the floor, if anything, our pace of play goes up. And it doesn't always translate to the scoring aspect, but pace of play is the number one key indicator for a total. And you put Joel Embiid back up on the floor, the pace of play goes back down, but the defensive efficiency goes back up. So we
and Horford was, calling everybody out for that.
Horford can call everybody out. The only thing he needs to do is call his fucking wife and check up on those fucking kids, man. Al Horford's a fucking bum.
Al Horford's better than Joel Embiid. What are we talking about?
Yeah, all right. That's why you guys had to sign Blake Griffin.
He doesn't play. He's just there for vibes.
Come on, bro. You guys had to sign Blake Griffin, bro. Blake Griffin hasn't been relevant since the fucking Kia 2012 commercial.
Great vibes, Blake Griffin.
You need Sam Hauser to go sub in and shoot some fucking threes?
I would love
it's getting a little bit rough out there in Boston. You guys were just acting like Derek White was the second coming of Tony Parker.
Derek White
could have won the back of the net in game one.
Derek White would be the second best player on the 76ers, and I would feel very comfortable in saying that.
He would be the second best player on the Sixers. He wouldn't even get minutes over D'Anthony Melton. He doesn't play defense.
No fucking chance. This guy
doesn't play defense.
Now. This guy's crazy. He's going to be all defense this year.
We'll see on the playback tonight. Make sure you go over to playback.tv/Pulp Sports Radio, and we're going to be live for Sixers Celtics, and you're going to see me chirping in that comment section because we're going to cash this money line. The Celtics are going to kill everybody's parlays tonight, and Jim's going to cash his under, and we come back here tomorrow and we celebrate with a clean sweep once again. It's the birthday picks, Jose. You cannot fade the birthday picks right now.
Is it your birthday?
No, yesterday was the birthday. Clean sweep on the board, and we're going for another one tonight.
Well, yesterday was your birthday?
Yes, sir. Big.
Oh, shit, man. Sorry I missed that, Brizzy. Oh, shit, man. Happy belated, my man. Happy belated. Troy Torrance says, where was it, my man? He said 7 of 8 games like this, one went over based on where the lines are. This is about just this game. The pace of 91 possessions a game should not have hit the point totals that it hit. It was the efficiency by the Sixers was
absurd.
Yeah, and I don't believe that will happen here. And I think it was broken down by Brizzy why he thinks that this is the right side. So this is just about this spot here. Markel birthday in 3 days. We got Lucas Ryan's birthday tomorrow. So
my Taurus gang in the chat, baby. Let's go.
Nasty Nate said he was a little worried until he saw the hoodie. So now he's a little more.
Not a hoodie though. It's a crop top. You gotta give it the respect that it's due.
You're right. My bad. My apologies.
Wait 5 years, Jim. You're gonna be going on your Twitter and be like, damn, I remember Billy came up on this playoff series and people are actually now I'm walking in the streets watching people wear male crop tops.
They're back.
Brizzy has the money line on the Philadelphia Sixers plus 293 and beat over 24.5 points. And he found a plus 10.5 at MGM at minus 110. So he is locked in for this. Jose, what did you want official for this?
First quarter -3. We already talked about that earlier in the show. And James Harden under 21.5 points, -114 because he's a fucking bum. But that's it. I'm not taking full game. I actually agree with Billy that laying 7 points in a playoff game is very tough. It's very tough. I would never really do it. And on top of that, I like Billy's player prop with Embiid. He dominates the Celtics, but I like the Celtics approach of Joel Embiid can score 50. No one else will score anything else. So that's
but if Joel Embiid starts scoring, then you guys start double teaming him, and then we start swinging it out for threes. It could be a long night.
Well,
the way the tides have been turning, everybody thought, oh, the Celtics are going to split 1-1. The Celtics are going to win game 2. The Celtics are going to win game 2. The NBA doesn't give out free fucking plays, man. The NBA doesn't give out give-me's. They don't give out free winners. And the winner tonight will be the Philadelphia 76ers. And we're going to beat you guys in 5 games. I'm telling you, Jose, this is what the script says. Sixers win first 2 games. Then you guys win the first one on Friday night. And then we beat you guys. And you guys go off to Cancun with the fucking Bruins. And you guys go drink your tea with your pinkies up, drinking your fucking tea and crimpets.
Crumpets. I
don't know when we became England all of a sudden. I don't know when that happened.
When is the playback show tonight? What time? Playback show?
It'll be. I assume, Billy, you guys are starting 15 minutes before the game starts.
I'll be watching the Invicta fights. That's more of a Dutch question.
Okay, fair enough. It's the Dutch boy fresh. I think Dave picks operation. So shout out to them. I would assume they'll start like 15 minutes before the game, and then it'll get rolling there. So like he said, Pub Sports Radio on the playback.tv there. So shout out to them. And by the way, shout out to Chocolate Waterfall. I looked at my phone. She commented on something on Twitter, and I figured out who Chocolate Waterfall is. Legit. Everything she says, she'll do.
Well, Nasty Nate, if you really want to know the story behind the sweatshirt, I think Big Show is the only person there for it. But Jeff took me to Dick's Sporting Goods in the morning. I bought a hoodie and socks. That night, me and Big Show proceeded to drink. I was drunk. We were smoking a blunt, and the blunt flew out of my hand. And it went over the fence. I tried to jump over the fence. The hoodie got stuck in the fence, but the hoodie was like fucking $85. I wasn't getting rid of the bitch, so we made it a male crop top.
Fair. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's an economical man.
I didn't even pay for the hoodie, and I still felt bad. I was like, just money's not going to go in the hole. We're making this a male crop top.
That is our NBA breakdown for today. I do like unders, and we'll be betting them. And Chocolatey Waterfall, thank you for the levity that you brought to the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for the subscription. The action is in. Jose Celtics first quarter -3, Harden under 21.5 points for Brizzy, and beat over 24.5 points. Money line for the Sixers plus 293 and plus 10.5 for the Sixers. Excellent work. Brizzy, thank you for making time for us. Now, I will not be here tomorrow, but it will be betting with Bouquet, and Brizzy will be making another appearance for us. So thank you so much, Brizzy, for making time for us, my man. Keep getting that cash, and respect, my guy. Follow Brizzy on Twitter at @gettingbills_, and also you are on a bunch of different social media spots. Where are other spots they can find you, Brizzy?
Yeah, follow me over on Instagram, Billy Brisbane DFS. We have the Smoke Break podcast. Usually we have a couple people from the chat, like Tone Miggs pops up on there. He gives out his little levels play of the day. Quick little 15, 30-minute smoke break in the middle of your day, sponsored by Pub Sports Radio. Usually go live at least 15 minutes every day. Talk about the slate of games for today. People comment, people chirp. Should be a good one today. So make sure you tune in later on after Sharpie Show.
I love it. Thank you so much for rolling with us. That was Billy Brisbane. Jose, quite a show we have had today. Quite a show. Let's review all action and put a bow on this. We also got Invicta looks from Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. For those of you who weren't here at the beginning of the show, here it is right there. I'm going to copy and paste that. Also, the heat's on. The heat's on. Big deal. Is a big deal. We had Fap win with his vat of lube. Told us that he was unleashing a load. 2-game money line parlay. New York Mets game 2 and Baltimore together plus 131. Thank you, Justin McElvey, my man.
I miss Fap. By the way, 4-2 Tigers.
I didn't move. I know we had some very, very sharp cappers on the under, but the market was screaming the other direction, so I'm off of that.
I'll just say the Tigers against lefties, their numbers the last 2 weeks, they've been phenomenal, like second best in the league against lefties. So they'll always have value against lefties, in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah, no, I hear that, man. I hear that. And I don't believe in Luke Casey. Devils money line for me. Dennis Garcia thinks it's cute that I'm fading his Hurricanes. And
you're a little punchy today. I can feel it. You're a little punchy today.
It's been stressful here.
Yeah.
Stressful. It's been very cold for about 3 days.
I get it.
So I look forward to that, Dennis.
And you can't even drink to warm yourself up either.
Oh, I can drink. I just
choose not to.
I choose not to, except for live streams. I want to live a long time, Jose. I don't want to be bounced out of here before I'm 50. Oilers Knights. I actually am beginning to have some interest in the Knights first period or the under 1.5 first period, but I'm going to sit with that for a little longer.
By the way, Billy's comments about the Bruins really hurt me. I'm still not over that. Those cut deep.
Kevin Lee saying over fading Jim. Which spot? I'd love to know which spot you're fading me on because I certainly was not on the under in that baseball game, Kevin. So, but I'm here available to be faded any spot, but I'd like to know which bet you're going to lose. The over 8.5, Ragoo moved on Arizona, Texas. I moved on this first 5 under 3.5 plus money in San Francisco, Houston. There is a runner on for Houston. Webb is a question mark here. That could hurt me. Ragoo's on the Phillies minus 1.5. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. It means a lot to me. It does. I love.
Oh yeah, we're both getting good compliments today. That's a lovely compliment by Matt. We appreciate you. And Chocolate Waterfall said she squirt all over my face. The same thing.
Yeah, and you are single now, so now you got to.
Yeah. I can say these without feeling guilty or having to worry about someone's father in the chat.
Ragoo's on the Phillies minus 1.5 at plus 151. I'm on the Phillies full game minus 110. Mike M, hip to be square play today. Padres Rays at plus 101. Ragoo's on the Padres minus 1.5. The stacks play today is Padres team total over 5.5 at plus 105. Ragoo's on the first 5 under 4.5 in Braves Marlins. I'm moving on the Marlins first 3 and the first 5 plus a half. Thank you, Matt. They're very cool. Respect. Kevin got us. He got us bad. Called us losers. The taint play today, Atlanta, Miami, first 5 under 4.5 at minus 125. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today, minus 1 at minus 115. Ragoo is on the Rays, minus 1.5 at plus 102. Cubs, Nats, no action. Guardians, Yankees, no action. Ragoo's on the White Sox, first 5 minus 0.5 at plus 112. Jays, Red Sox, no action. The Cuban sandwich parlay from Cuban Connect is Mets game 1 run line and the Angels first 5 and the Red Sox over. Ragoo's on the over 9 at minus 108 in Baltimore, Kansas City. I'm going to be with that for a little while because I think these old heads can be decent enough to get through that first 3. Ragoo's on the first 5 under 4 in Angels cards, and the Angels first 5 minus a half at minus 101. Razor Sharp picks Gambler's first glance is Rockies money line plus 105. I'm going to be on the Rockies first 5 team total over 3.5 at plus 105. Ragoo's already on that. And then I'm also going to be on the Rockies first 5. I have interest in the A's first 3. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger, and I'm expecting to double up on the unders, first half under and full game under in NBA. That is our show for today. Jose, thank you for all the hard work you put in, and good luck tomorrow. It is betting with Bouquet tomorrow. Tell me you didn't just say that. Vitalis, Lanils, Justin McElvey, Mike M., Billy Friedrich, Johnny Guns, Matt, thank you for the kind words. Rick J., Jorge, don't play, Razor Sharp picks.
Jimmy, the people asked for it, and I had to bring it back. The fucking Bruins just got me back in my feelings, and you know what happens when I get in my feelings, Jim, right?
Oh yeah, is that how we're gonna close the show?
Apparently, I'm just sad. I just had to watch Patrice Bergeron mosey on down, hug all of his friends potentially for his last time. Hopefully, David Krejci comes back to the Bruins. But I'm sitting here crying, and I have to think about that. And you know what I'll also be doing? I'll be fucking crying again tomorrow on screen if I have to cap the basketball card with Billy Brisbane down 2-0. So it'll be a lot of crying tomorrow. It'll be a lot of crying tomorrow, guys. But God damn it. You know what really matters in this earth? We're cashing together, and Jimmy has his fucking furnace back. Let's go, everyone.